Standing on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, and the ashes are all cold now, no more bullets, and the embers are dead. Whispers in the air tell the tales of the brothers gone. Desolation, devastation. What a mess we made when it all went wrong. Watching from the edge of the circus for the games to begin. Gladiators draw their swords, form their ranks for Armageddon. I'm nuclear, I'm wild, I'm breaking up inside. A heart of broken glass, defied.
In September 2015, a group of furries came together with a brilliant idea. Rainforest, a convention for and by furries. This is their story.
I'm just bringing in all the dirty laundry here, so you guys are lucky, and I'm probably going to ask you to not post that video, mister.
Rainforest is the reverse of DashCon. Where DashCon was a disaster caused by its organizers, Rainforest was a disaster caused by its attendees.
I am absolutely sure there is no truth to the rumor that Rainforest is under an evil curse. And with that, it is my pleasure to officially declare Rainforest 2015 open.
It all started with a talent contest. That went okay. But as the night went on, some started to get absolutely trashed. A few hours later, the destruction had begun. Somebody had deliberately loosened the bolt on one of these toilets, so that when the next person flushed, water flooded everywhere, 2.5 inches deep. An emergency plumber was quickly on the scene, but the damage was already done. Water had leaked through the floor and onto the basement servers below. Meanwhile, staff and security are threatening to throw out some of the guests. They had disabled the fire alarm so they could hotbox their room.
Oh my.
Obviously, there are reasons not to do that. Down at the hot tub, someone took all of these towels and threw them into the spa, but not before rolling up towels and stuffing them directly into the pump, causing thousands of dollars in damage. And they stepped it up a notch from DashCon, from going number 1 in the ball pit to going number 2 in the swimming pool. Back at the bathroom, there were rumors that someone had drilled a glory hole into one of the stalls, although this wasn't confirmed. But what was confirmed was a haul of over 2,000 nitrous oxide canisters, just laying around in rooms and hallways. But that was just the start of the drug problem. First, a couple of guys overindulge in mushrooms and need an ambulance. Then a staff member gets arrested for sexual assault. Then someone else is arrested for regular assault. A few others drank too much and needed a second ambulance. And on the other side of the car park, 2 more people are being arrested, one for drug possession and the other for dealing.
Drugs was the major problem.
Meanwhile, you have these guys roaming the halls. They call it crinkling, after the noise it makes when they walk around. And yes, some of these diapers are full. The other guests weren't too pleased. Later on, they're just throwing food and diapers in the gardens and stairwells. They were behaving like animals?
One thing that's important is we do ask that you guys all be really good back to the hotel. You know the elevator buttons? You really don't have to use your foot to push them.
A few hours later.
Put your pants on and stop breaking shit!
But that wasn't the end of it.
There was an incident with diapers being found on people's cars.
The hotel was left in ruins.
4 to 6 weeks later.
The Hilton submitted a letter listing all of the reasons Rainforest would not be allowed at their venue from now on. The hotel damage was more than all of the other cons combined that year. But it wasn't just the damages. Rainforest was insured and had over 150 grand in the bank to pay for it all. Rainforest was just so toxic that they said, "No thank you, take your money elsewhere." But that left them with a rather large problem, because big hotel chains talk. Hilton talks to Sheraton, talks to Marriott, talks to Holiday Inn, talks to Hyatt, talks to Best Western, but there's more. someone was sending detailed letters to nearby venues, warning them why they shouldn't host the next Rainforest. Soon, there isn't one hotel in Seattle that has a convention center willing to host them.
No other hotel this side of the state wanted to take us, from Seattle to Bellingham.
What's interesting is that the organizers knew who was sending the letters.
These are the things that were talked about in that letter, and you're pretty much the only person who could have known that. Yeah, in my heart of hearts, I know who it is. Lean's motive and opportunity around, and it pisses me off.
In case you missed that, what he's saying is, whoever sent the letters was the same person who was putting diapers on these cars. Running low on options, they started to look further outside of the city. They managed to find a venue in Spokane that was willing to give them a shot. But by February, none of that mattered. The diaper-wearing saboteur had sent out another letter, and Spokane backed out. So Rainforest 2016 was cancelled. And that's the story of Rainforest. So far. Unlike DashCon, Rainforest is coming back, and Rainforest 2017 promises to be bigger and better than ever.
RF 2017, they're bringing it back! They're bringing it back! Yes! Oh, so many memories! So many memories!
Oops, never mind. As I was editing this, this happened. So it's cancelled forever. Bye!
Hello chat, you had to experience the full Furry experience before we started with this shit. And even that doesn't encapsulate everything that is a furry. Today we're gonna be learning about a different side of it. Because when you think furries, but first let me get some music up so we don't think of furries the first moment I actually get to talk about them. What's the best choice for today? Something chill, because this is gonna be a really fucked up stream. This is good. Voice of the Ancestors is the track. It's pretty chill. Alright. So, when you guys think of furries, what kind of political alignments do you think about? You think about leftoids, right? Rightoids wouldn't be furries, right? Well, if you don't know furries can be anything. Furries lean into any kind of political thing. You can have Nazi furries, you can have libertarian furries, you can have seriously lefty furries, and most people know furries as leftoids, but today we're talking about the right kind of furries. We're talking about furries that LARP as evangelical Christians, believe it or not. Yes, some furries do pretend to be evangelical Christians, despite their life of degeneracy. And today we're gonna explore the full the full scope of that. I don't know how any of them think they can be Christians with that kind of behavior that's gonna be demonstrated today. But, you know, it is what it is. Furries are whatever they want to be. Furries are like their own fucking universe. Sometimes when you look into like furry drama, it's always some terrible shit like rape, necrophilia, zoophilia, pedophilia. There's murder, there's cannibalism, there's everything. Like, furries are their own fucking world. Like, VTubers do not stand up to furries in any specific way. But today's stream only exists because one of the subjects of today's topic is actually a VTuber, believe it or not. I found out about it like at the last second before I wanted to do something else for the day. And I couldn't resist taking this opportunity to talk about them. And let me tell you something. in the last like 2 hours of research I did on these people, one of them I actually knew. Like, I knew about this person beforehand. But the hole is so big and so deep when it comes to these people. You trip over ridiculous shit the moment you start to do even the slightest bit of research into it. So I spent the last 2 hours or so just collecting everything that's fucking stupid about it. And I could have collected more, but the stream would be like 6 hours long because, you know, furries. Of course, they're involved in all kinds of drama. Like petty drama. Like the people we're talking about today. I could talk about financial fraud. I could talk about spousal abuse, which we're gonna talk about just a little bit at the beginning. I could talk about drunk driving. I could talk about excessive drug use, because all of these people are involved in activities like that. I could talk about money laundering. I could talk about everything. Once again, furries are involved in everything, and every furry drama is a hole so deep, it's probably deeper than the Mariana Trench. So let's actually get into it. So what is the thing that actually attracted me to this whole shit in the beginning? Well, there's this tweet that this person made. This person is called Peace Wolf. Peace Wolf Actual on Twitter. Happy to be able to finally say that as of yesterday, I'm now legally a divorced woman. Here's my story. See the thread in for the 5th page. Here's the other tweet with that last page. And we're gonna read through all of that document because it's a doozy. This thing is very special to my heart at the moment. Especially with all the art that's involved in this. As a preface, all of the art that's in this document has been made by one of the bulls. But can a woman be actually a bull? Because it's one of the... It's the woman. It's the woman bull that made this art for this specific document for this person. And it doesn't portray the husband in a very flattering light. Neither in text or in the art. I think this is something that could go viral, given the right circumstances. And considering the tweet that this person originally made with this document has like almost 1,000 quote retweets at this point, I think it's just gonna get more popular as things go on, because this shit will have to be covered by someone much bigger than me. It's just so fucking ridiculous. So let's get right into that, because my words alone don't do it justice. You need to hear it straight from Peace Wolf's mind. The Fox and His Lily. Hello, my name is Nicole, aka Peace Wolf. I am an artist and co-chair with the furry fandom. In the age of the internet, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get in its pants on. Here's the depiction of Peace Wolf and her husband, called Foxglove. Now that myself and my ex-husband Foxglove are legally divorced, I feel that the time has come for me to share my side of the story, to allow myself to be heard after almost a year of gossip and rumors why our relationship soured and ultimately failed. Mind you, the truth of the matter is much worse than the gossip, so what this person is doing is shooting herself in both feet at this point. But you'll soon find out how this works. How the relationship started. I found myself in very first online relationship at the age of 17. I had no identity to call my own, and I didn't feel fully fulfilled in regards to the love and attention I was getting from my parents growing up. This void I was feeling compounded over years. Desperate, I rushed into a relationship with the first person that gave me attention I craved. After 3 years of mostly online dating, I married in 2017 at the age of 21. I learned that Fox had a mold for the perfect wife. Found out before we met and did everything in his power to groom me into it. He had a fictional relationship of an illustrated woman named Lily, who was always pregnant, birthing children for him, all of which have already been named. Does not work, is subordinate and unquestioning. Lily became my new pet name, and deviations from the fiction were quickly scolded. I realized that I was not loved for who I was, but was conditioned based on the role I could play in a fantasy. To stop for a moment, there's no good guys in this story, so if you're looking for good guys, you're not going to be finding them here. This is all terrible, and you're going to experience this together with me. Anytime I would engage in interests for myself, drawing, playing musical instruments, crafting, instead of the things his Lily would be doing, he would get upset and complain. If I spent time with friends that did not play into his fiction, he would complain. Feeling stifled, I began to shut down emotionally, just to lessen the guilt and shame of failing short of his vision. There were whispers from concerned friends and family over the years, people telling me that Fox was not good for me. I was too naive to ever listen, in denial that they just didn't understand, and that they were judging Fox unfairly. But the truth is, they saw him for what he really was, a narcissist preying on the inexperience of a sheltered girl. Oh, we'll get into preying on inexperienced people in a few moments here. Despite the loving front he would put on in public, behind closed doors I was nothing more than a groomed trophy wife. All affection such as kissing stopped abruptly with marriage, which is where the fetishes came out. And this document just gets much worse from this point onward. Especially when the art is involved. How it fell apart. 3 days before Free for All July 2022, the convention which I am the co-chair, I received multiple leaked screenshots from concerned staff that Fox, my husband at the time, was fooling around and planned to have sex with another female members of staff, who was one of my close friends who also happened to be our roommate that year for the hotel. The sexting dated back for months, including explicit photos and detailed descriptions of what they planned to get up to at the convention, with the thrill of doing it all behind my back while I was running it. While utterly devastated, I still had to work and be professional for the critical launching year. Briefly asked Fox if he was doing anything I should know about with another woman, and he said no. Not knowing I had been sent the recipes, I then showed him the evidence, and only at that point did he confess to what he had done. I requested that he not be in the hotel room alone with this woman at any point during the convention, to which he promised he wouldn't. I ended up catching them in the room together by themselves at least once during the convention. This was not the first time he had done things of a sexual nature with other people, discovering similar messages a year prior with other people. When confronting him then, he told me it was my fault for not satisfying his sexual needs, and had been falling short for those expectations essentially since the day we got married. Fox would not move to open his eyes during sex. I tried to participate in his sexual roleplays of pregnant Lily, but the fact he could not do so successfully in real life led him to resent me. Our sex life ultimately settled on pegging him with a strap-on once a month to help him disassociate. I read this 2 times and it still gets me. The woman he decided to cheat with was married and had children of her own, satisfying his fetishes more than I could. It triggered a full-on panic attack. I could hardly breathe, crying for hours, resolved to shove my feelings down as far as humanly possible. For the sake of being able to run free for all. And that's what I did, to the best of my abilities. I didn't tell a single soul about what was going on, and tried to put on a front of stability, all the while crumbling on the inside. Only a couple of attendees had the relationship experience to see I was in serious pain, primarily Jason FX and Cap's Corner. Attendees and new friends I was slowly developing online at the time. Or we'll get into both of these in a moment too. They're probably one of the most interesting parts of this whole shit. I had not had the opportunity to spend any time with them during the convention as they were busy, but I did get to see them during the after party, and they were very supportive, friendly, and helped packed up the con despite not being on staff. I really needed friends I could trust to talk to, so I invited them to stay in town one more day before they drove home, where I confined all this news to them. J and K helped me formulate a plan for the next month, helping both me and Fox read books like The 7 Levels of Intimacy, taking courses like the Big 5 Personality Test to generate couples report to find the point of friction, and talking to both of us every day to check in and see if things are getting better in professional couples counseling. Fox scored a 0% in empathy, meaning he had no desire to develop a capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing, and thus my needs were never validated. J and K encouraged me to take a weekend away from the hostile home environment I was in, visit them in Canada. And you'll see where this is going. I learned quickly how broken my marriage really was, getting to spend time with genuine friends that offered the support structure I was missing in my life. Despite efforts, my relationship with Fox continued to deteriorate over the next few months. My focus and attention drifted further and further towards my friends rather than working on our attraction to each other. Both Fox and I invited J and K to visit our home for 10 days, with plans to experiment near the end of the visit and with Fox's full knowledge. Constant encouragement as a cuckold that could not participate nor be invited behind closed doors. Oh, this is the part that I love of this, especially the art. This is not loot; these are just stickers, and there's no nudity behind this. So, YouTube, fuck off. How it ended: Fox helped prepare their arrival by drawing jade virgins, their fursonas, on the guest bedroom whiteboard, partially nude and flirting with each other. The idea of being a cuckold was exciting to him. Everything went as planned without drama or hostility. Everyone seemingly having a great time. However, Fox grew jealous of the attention I was receiving and started showing his true colors in the second week as his efforts to flirt with Cap's corner were rejected. This included referring to her as Miss Kate and rushing to open doors with Milady to force the front of a chivalry. Fox then began to do everything in his power to get attention, even negative attention. He alternated between extremes of crying on the floor in the master bedroom closet, curled up in a fetal position, while holding a plushy version of Virgin that Jason gifted me, to baking cookies and delivering them to the guest room door while myself, Jason, and Kate were engaging intimately with each other. To spell it out for you, they were fucking, and he brought them cookies. He baked. After witnessing domestic verbal abuse, Jason confronted Fox in the living room and put him in his place, while Caps consoled me in the closet of my bedroom. The closet was my hiding place when Fox became frustrated with me. Fox never had a strong father figure, and his father was in prison during his upbringing for voyeurism towards minors. Formerly by another name, Fox illegally changed his identity to his fursona name and moved states to further disassociate from his family's criminal history. He used my last name when we got married. I made up my mind quickly in that 10-day period that I no longer wanted to be married to Fox, and requested space from him in the last couple of days of their visit so I could start planning how to tell him that I wanted a divorce. Myself, J, and K went to visit one of my other close friends to get their opinions on how I should approach it. While at my friend's house, our phones began to blow up with messages that Fox was having a meltdown over his whiteboard drawings being erased and replaced with one made by Cabs that I had begun to pack my things. He had been rapidly sending text messages to my friends and family that I was running away and being drugged and sex trafficked, that I was suicidal and was in serious danger of hurting myself and others. He then stole Caps Connor's belongings that that were left in our house and put them in the back of a rental car and drove to my friends with his gun, making the rental car behind J&K's to box them in. Fox had spun such a narrative of hysteria in one night that my friends broke into my home to check on him. Had the police summoned my parents and many others all at once late into the night for a grand conspiracy to steamroll any attempt to take my ring off. It didn't work, however, and I still told him I wanted divorce despite all the theatrics. Fox spent most of the night on his knees, groveling and emotionally compromised with the open pistol on his hip. He later denied the threats of suicide, but the messages were kept. The entire deal was the most traumatic night of my life. As my parents were furious, we blindsided that I was unhappy. They, like many, assumed from the surface that we were normal, healthy married couple. Fox was crawling and vomiting on the floor and wearing my jewelry, necklace, bracelet, when my mother went with me to pick up more of my things so I could move into any apartment. I pawned the wedding ring he gave me he would rub and obsess over. Don't forget I brought you this for a little over $100 on the first day living by myself. The cover-up. Fox would stick to the narrative that I had no agency of my own and I was stolen property for months, quickly adopting the facade of wholesome Christian father figure and lying about having children. Fox had little to no interest in religious beliefs prior to divorce. Mind you, this person that's writing this document, they think they are Christian. They're doing all of this shit, and this is Christian values demonstrated right in front of your eyes. This is what Christians do. Evangelical Christians. Fox insisted that if I did not give him a child of his own, that he would satisfy the craving by other means. We fostered a 17-year-old teenager for a few months leading up to the divorce. We never adopted her out of DHS custody and were under monthly review. These people had adopted a kid, a teenager, almost an adult, with their kind of behavior, and they let them adopt. This is fantastic. She is now an adult and moved out to live with a healthier, loving family. I was not visited or contacted by her since we lived together for that brief period of time. How the fuck am I not surprised? Fox would send a plethora of letters and phone calls that gradually transitioned from denial to threats, all of which I kept safekeeping. Some of these threats detailed how he would never stop, would pursue me until death, and that if I leave, I would pay dearly and I would ensure suffering would come my way. He would then tweet he loved me seconds later on social media, playing a sociopathic game. Fox would spend the majority of his spare time conspiring and obsessing over my life, taking over my Peace Wolf fan Discord, hacking into my Twitch account during live streams, harassing my friends, and turning the convention domain to ransomware, among other attacks at my reputation. This escalated to hopping the security fence at my apartment complex and stealing my car on my birthday. Mind you, this is one of the most unbelievable things in this document that's written here, because you will guys see what Fox looks like at the later part of the stream, and he doesn't look like someone that can hop a fence. He doesn't look like someone that can hop a sidewalk, to be honest with you. Going as far as to break the wheel lock I had left on it, despite already having a vehicle on his own. This too got the attention of security, the apartment complex, and my parents, who stormed down to complain. Here's a very, very fun picture of him getting into the car. Fox then promptly drove car out of state to harass another board member of the convention to extort them, standing on the front porch and blocking them from entering their home. That blocking I can understand. Fox is he's a hardy, tubular sort of fellow. I believe he could block them. Fortunately, a third party was able to record the confrontation, getting Fox's face and an accomplice on camera, as well as photos of the stolen car and a restraining order. These power moves would always occur a few days before the next big step in divorce procedure. Here's once again those boards. This is what they drew on the whiteboard at their house when he was getting cucked live. My favorite part of this whole story is that there was an original cuck picture, but then it got erased, drawn over with a new cuck picture, ironically cucking him even further. Here's a tweet from January the 3rd, showcasing how much of a loving and loyal person Peace Wolf is. Kinda disappointed that so many people these days would prefer pets to children, as if that's somehow an equal substitution. Pets are great, but they don't make the world better. They only make your world better. Children are a good thing, when raised right. What if I just don't want them? What if I don't rather just spend a lot of money and time on myself? It's your own prerogative if you wish to be selfish. Talk about fucking selfishness. Here's the changed whiteboard picture to Jason FX and Cabs hacking Wolf. Why are you excited for a release of something that will be underwhelming most likely? Because it's a Pokemon and I'm loyal to a fault. Weren't you loyal to your husband and kids? That's from November 2022. Mary Sperg, he tries to cheat. Respond by cucking him to death with a groomer and the girl he groomed. Taking everything in the divorce except the Nintendo Switch. Both parties call themselves trad Christians. What the actual fuck? Also, I missed one page, so let me get one page from the document because I didn't show it off. So give me a moment. I am not sure how I missed that one page. But that one page is important, so let me get it up. Where did I put that page though? Because it's super important and it's also funny as fuck too. There it is. Hold up. Block you for a moment, chat. This is probably one of the funniest pages in this whole thing. The resolution. Hogs did not appear for court, settled digitally, and did not sit in the same room for mediation. He tried to offer nothing and he would take everything from me, but I trusted my support network. That offer quickly caved in the presence of lawyers, and he settled for almost all of my requests. I won the car, all my requested belongings, my share of value of the home, and compensation for damages for stealing my property. He won the Nintendo Switch. Damages towards the convention are not martial manner and will not be different legal procedure, without me being involved since we have personal history. While it is a general rule of thumb to avoid rebounding after breakup, I would like to emphasize just how much space J&K gave me after I moved into my own apartment. They helped me furnish it, helped me move in and decorate it to be mine. They encouraged me to do all the things I used to love doing as a child. They bought me a drawing tablet, told me to chase my dreams of becoming an artist. They polished my Twitch stream, made it look professional. And they did 100% of this with 0 strings attached. The strings are that they fucking one another, probably fucking daily. I wonder if this relationship would work without all the sexual stuff though. Solely because they wanted to see my dreams achieved and me living the best life that I could live. With or without them, which is still of course true to this day. I do wonder about this though. They either drove down and spent time with me in Oklahoma, or flew me up to Canada to see them frequently. These people have been by my side without hesitation since the moment I confided in them back in July. They have loved me with more intent and sincerity than anyone I have never known in my entire life. I feel that I truly be myself around them, the real me. They saved my life. I wasn't really living. They set me free to figure out who I really was. And when I began to discover the real me, that's when I made the decision to spend my life going forward by their sides for as long as they will have me. My best friends and fuck buddies. As of speaking, Fox has been spending his time post-divorce role-playing with himself, training AI and uploading the results of his new Foxglove relationship development on social media. Having burned bridges with all network friends, Fox still refers to me by pet name like Han to this day. I hope he find happiness and find the lily he is searching for, and that he can move on from harassing myself and the charity of my charity and my friends. We were gonna read. Here's Foxglove talking to AI Foxglove. Hey bud, how are you doing? What can Dad help you with today? I hate you. You're the worst dad ever. I can't wait to get away from you. Whoa there, kiddo. That certainly isn't true. I would love to move the sun and stars for you, my child. I would do anything for you, and that goes for any of my children. I may not always be perfect, but I really do try my best for all of you. How about this? Why don't we sit down and talk about the problem you're having? You're my child and I love you, and nothing can change that. So I'd really like to help with whatever whatever on your mind, okay? I'm fucking hinged. Let's move on to the two people, the two bulls that are involved in all of this. I've said it, and I'll keep saying it as long as it's true. Many such cases. This is a document partially sourced from Kiwi Farms, from Jason FX's thread on there. Kiwi Farms is currently only accessible via Tor, I think. But there's more than enough evidence that I have found that corroborate a lot of the shit that's told here. And we will see what kind of people Jason FX and Cabs are. Jason FX, how far should people go with it? This far? Oh my god, that means you consent to bestiality? Fuck off, mate. If the animal consents, then I don't care. You are that basic that you see a question plus reply and assume approval? There wouldn't be a problem if he actually used women who were adults, 18 plus, who said body type, but he used children, actual children, for porn. Petite women who are of age, and but children who are clearly preteen is not okay. It is okay because it's legal. Child molars exist for a reason. It's a reference. If you want to change the law, that is a different problem that I wish you luck with. Calling him a pedo is a straight up lie. The police is better authority than you. Mind you, this is using real existing children as models for drawings. This is not anything made up out of imagination. This is talking about using real child models. This is not lolicap shit without any prior connection to real kids. This is actually them talking about using child models for not safe work artwork. 5/11/2020 update. Someone has posted hard evidence that Cabier voice acted for porno animations Jason made while 15-16, while also going into detail showing that they were dating while Cab was 15-16. Well, we'll get into that in detail as I read a conversation between Jason FX and other people on, I believe, his Fur Affinity page or some other ones. I don't remember which one it was exactly, but you'll see in a moment. Jason's also got a bit of a bestiality streak. Him and his girlfriend collaborated on a dog fucking comic, and he talked about his idea before his Ask FM. His opinions on Earl Act is very similar to YMS's. This is Your Movie Sucks, by the way. A guy that notoriously talks about fucking horses. That's a whole fucking whole of its own. If you want to get into that one, he's not a VTuber yet, so I don't have to cover him. But yeah, YMS has talked about horse fucking before, so just FYI. According to the thread, it started when she was 15 and he was 22, 23. She was also encouraged to draw cup porn at the time. So yeah, making a minor draw pornography. Hey, remember how you claimed for years that you didn't groom cabs when she was still a child when they're not a pedophile, but then retweeted cup porn on main? Remember when you and cabs got caught dropping hard R's in Discord chat despite your pale ass skin tone? These are leftoid furries, if you haven't noticed. Remember when you and Cabs made a comic together about some dude fucking his pet dog, and a pet who just happened to be the same breed as the dog you had just adopted at the time? This is more of that whiteboard, and there was another drawing of Wolf leaving for Canada, a very cringy fucking drawing. You'll see more of it soon. Here's Wolf's post from June 13th. Over time, Soulless evolved into something more. We became best friends and discovered that each other's company made our lives more whole. I am proud to call Jason FX, FA, and Caps Corner Arts my partners. I was caged for years. They set me free. Now I choose to be by their sides. Here's their art. Furries always draw themselves with such smug looking fucking faces. This is, I call those faces, you know, we're fucking faces. And yeah, they're fucking like proverbial fucking animals. And there's gonna be talk about animal fucking, didn't you guys worry? There's gonna be more of that, unfortunately. When you're cheated on by your best friend and your worst, this is once again going a bit into the past, November 29th, 2022. When you're cheated on your best friend and your worst nightmare comes to life, you don't know who you can trust anymore. You're left broken, confused, terrified. In my case, I found solace in two very kind and very understanding individuals. Them drawing themselves in bed, of course, just cuddling. Here's Foxglove talking about that infamous whiteboard picture. It doesn't make any sense anyways. She changed Deny so much when she started being around them. I think the drugs might have had contributed to it. Yeah, there was drugs involved, which was not mentioned in the initial document. But you know, this is all depends on who the fuck do you believe. All of these people are fucking terrible. So whoever you believe, you're gonna lose. So you can believe all of them being terrible, or you can believe none of them and they're still fucking terrible. It doesn't change a lick. Nothing changes whether you believe them or not. There was no warning. She never expressed that she wanted to leave, just left some art for me to find when I got home to an empty house, bragging about how they were fucking hours away. Here's that picture of her leaving for Canada. Have you ever thought of what God/Jesus would think about since you call yourself Christian? I'm genuinely curious. This is people responding to that post she made in November of 2022. Here's that full picture with her leaving for Canada. As you can see, there's the Canadian flag there. Some trees, because of course Canada is a very forest-rich country. There's the broken chain. There's the collar. She's free. Like, Baldo, go home or something. She's trying to disappear from me. Everything so people forget and never find out. Already threw me out of our organization. We'll talk about the organization too. It's also funny as fuck. I don't want to drag her or anything. I still love her so much. I know the feeling. Here's another one of these cringy artworks about being free from once again November 2022. Sometimes relationships don't turn out to be everything we've hoped for. In my case, I was young, naive, and didn't recognize narcissism. I was a caged wolf, only loved out in the open. Behind closed doors, there was a different story. Break those chains that bind you. You betrayed your own family, committed adultery against your husband, dishonored the marriage covenant, and abandoned your husband and your 2 kids. You chose the wrong path in life. Not very Christian of you. I suggest you repent and come back to Jesus. See, this is where it becomes kind of confusing to me, because only one kid is mentioned, the one that they almost adopted. But where the fuck is the other kid? Because some of them are... Some party is lying here, or they're omitting information. So, I don't know what this was about, but apparently there could have been another kid involved in this too. It is very confusing. And here's proof that Peace Wolf is a VTuber. If you want to go look her up, she primarily streams on Twitch with, of course, JasonFX and Cabs. She also has a YouTube, Peace Wolf Actual. They basically stream to nobody. Even though JasonFX is a pretty big name in the furry fandom still. He was much bigger before all of this shit happened to him. But we'll get into all of that, because JasonFX's own words are also very important to this story. And you might be asking, what is Peace Wolf doing right now? Well, she posted this about 4 hours ago. So you can see how traumatized she is, having released that document, that she's finally free to tell her side of the story, and you know how traumatic and terrible it was for her. Due to high demand, we present the Cuckies Telegram sticker pack. Enjoy artwork by Cabs Corner Arts. The Cuckies, which these are all stickers of that are included in that document that I just read to you. So this is basically folks getting cucked and then fucking on that bed. Very traumatizing for her. That's why she's releasing a Telegram sticker pack called the Cuckies. And you might be asking, what is Cabs Corner and JasonFX doing about this? Well, Cabs is here retweeting that post with the document from Peace Wolf. And what is JasonFX doing? Well, JasonFX made this poster together with Cabs, based on a true story. 100% cookies, 100%. Horrifying, an authentic vision of sexually aggravated white nationalist psychosis. Outstanding performance. Winner Zachary Ray Sherman. A film by Rob Lambert, Cuck. A timely satirical thriller, cultish intensity and newsworthy urgency. I'll let you see it up close, so you can burn it into your eyes. But yeah, they made a movie poster about that document. Yeah, they really if you haven't noticed, they're taking a piss at the guy. All of this drama right now, in the last few hours, in the last day, it wasn't made to, you know, do any kind of call out on the guy. You know, he's terrible. This was made to laugh at him. This is made to ridicule this guy. That was the whole purpose of this shit. They made a document, drew artwork of him getting cucked, and then made a poster about it. You would think based, but no. Both Cabs and Adjacent FX aren't good people. We're just laughing at the misery of an idiot perpetuated by other fucking idiots. Living your best life now. No more neckbeard slowing you down. This is in reply to Peace Wolf's document. You have an amazing, cringe-inducing true story you can tell forever. I'm looking for a young, impressionable girl to make mine. Word on the street is you're the guy to ask for advice. If you read the story, you'll see that Fox is the one to ask for that advice. All these guys could teach you is that how to be nice to someone who is in need. Maybe you could try to being that too. It is really nice that you get something out of it, though. As much as I criticize this guy, he's doing 2 chicks at the same time, which is every man's dream. If nothing else, I respect the hustle. Every man's dream. What sort of fantasy land? Whoa, that dude is a creep. And not he, pedo she's laying with. Cabs is old enough to speak for herself. So she was able to consent when she was 15? She's not 15 anymore! She's old enough to drink now. I don't think she needs to speak for her. What kind of fucking logic is this? Or, like, could she consent at 15? Well, she's not 15 now, dude. Is this the logic that furries that furries use when they talk about grooming? Doesn't change shit. Jason groomed Cabs at 16 and had her voice acting not safe for content at the same age. Proof? I think it's documented that she was 15 when she VA'd for Jason. They married when she was 16, which is legal in both of the countries and some parts of the USA. Today, she's irrevocably legal. Furries, man. Fuck furries. Fuck most of them. Fuck furries that behave like this. I know furries that are good furries. These aren't good furries. We're not looking at good furries here. Even if this story is true, you seriously had to run with the most infamous member of the fandom for support? Jason FX, who groomed Cabs when she was 13? 15, but again, a lot of them don't have the full story on this. Had her voice in Not Safe for Acting at 16 and is now doing the same to you? Really? Take help where it comes from. Jason gave me a job after spending 2.5 years applying to work for fucking everywhere and an else goddamn planet and being rejected. So I became the lead developer for 2 years. Jason FX has previously made a porn game. We'll get into that too. Again, this is a huge fucking rabbit hole to go into. We are slowly making our way through it. Jason helped me through a rough point mentally and has supported me in improving my art since the day I met him. Generally a good dude. Absolutely insane to see the right above comment calling me out for grooming a 13-year-old and getting them to act in hentai at 15. Because it didn't happen? Well, he was nice to me, so I don't care about what he did wrong. (11:36 mark). We're gonna watch this video in a moment. Bro went quiet after this. Let's watch that. The many misdeeds of Jason FX. I have 3 videos prepared for you guys today. Let's start with this one first. Let me silence the music for a moment, and we're gonna watch that video.
Jason.
Hold up. Let me hide this thing. Okay.
Jason A. Fix. This is probably a household name for most furries out there. He's amassed a total of over 95,000 followers between his Fur Affinity, Ink Bunny, and Twitter accounts. Although he initially grew his following in the Team Fortress 2 fandom with his Gmod videos and lewd pyro models, he quickly discovered a much easier path to online popularity. using the puppet tool in After Effects to turn regular furry art into an animated version of its former self. These animations are his primary form of content nowadays, being the main driving force for his followers besides the game he's working on and his YouTube. I suppose. Despite his mostly harmless GIF dealing and YouTube videos that honestly just aren't for me, Jason appears to have a habit of just looking like the biggest bellend, in my opinion. A surprising amount of drama surrounds this man, one of these being a scandal involving him and his girlfriend. And no, not that one. Not yet at least. I'm referring to one involving a crowdfunding page Jason made. The story starts in 2015. Jason had already moved from his home in Australia, heading to live with his girlfriend in Canada, who was still living with her alcoholic father and mother with an extreme hoarding problem. Looking through the page, it definitely looks like they needed some genuine assistance. They only asked for help to improve the conditions that they were living in, and people pitched in. Eventually, they would manage to reach their goal of $3,000. With these funds, they would go on to fix up their situation by purchasing a purebred Shiba Inu. That, along with doggy stairs for their bed. Now, this fundraiser was done regardless of the 5 separate Patreons existing.
Mind you, Jason FX also had a comic about fucking Shiba Inu. Take that as you will. But it's a bit too coincidental that they bought a dog and then not too long after that, a comic about fucking a dog was made. 2 + 2 = 4, I guess.
Between the both of them. Jason's personal, another for Bare Backstreets, a game he was working on that he was planning to cancel at the time, 2 for his game of Morris, and 1 for his girlfriend. The reason I bring these up is due to the fact that they've been gradually losing contributors, according to Jason himself. A reason for this decline might have something to do with selling off rewards that people had paid $700 for. It could also involve an accident that happened with one of his raffles. People had paid money for a chance to have a drawing they liked animated by the lizard himself. The first person who won the raffle was actually turned down, due to the fact that the image they selected wasn't sexual. This decision most definitely drew backlash, getting to the point where another artist noticed the crapstorm and decided to go in and animate the image Jason had turned down. Instead of allowing the situation to de-escalate, he decided it would be best to leave a snarky comment on how the artist had done. As you would expect, people were quick to call him out on his less than ideal behavior, but this is far from one of his worst offenses. The peak of Jason's drama came when he posted this here for Affinity Journal titled, "Debunking Asinine Troll Gossip." Nothing really stood out to me looking through this, other than the fact that Jason was 6 feet tall at the time he wrote this. I am 3 inches taller than JasonFX. Eat that, lizard man. Another thing that kind of stuck out was JasonFX is a pedo. Kyber is underage. Here he simply says that Kyber was 20 and he's 24, debunking this claim stating that the plane tickets have dates on them to corroborate his story. Everything else here just seems to be rumors akin to the debunk page Yandev made on his website. So that's JasonFX for you. Or at least his earlier faults. There are 2 events I want to dive into before we wrap up our session here. The first of these events...
This fact that she apparently was 20 is a lie. We'll get into that.
Being an audio recording between Jason, Caitlin, and someone by the name of Bleakly. Before we dive into the contents of the recording here, I want to give you the context of the situation. Bleakly, or Bleak Stedler, is a furry artist. While he isn't as large as Kyber or Jason number-wise, their artwork is most certainly worth a look into. Now, Bleakly ended up befriending the 2 since they were in the same area. He even ended up giving them a place to stay. All he asked was that the 2 of them financially contribute, whether it be for groceries or rent. He asked politely for some time before finally putting his foot down. And what happened when he decided to do this?
Where did this come from? I asked Jay why was I being booted.
Because I fucking hate you! I want nothing to do with you!
Why do you hate me? Why?
Because you're a liar? You're deceitful? You treat me like shit. You're trying to get my boyfriend to break up with me?
No,
You tried to
not say
touch
that.
me inappropriately?
And now you're trying to make us pay rent. I had to tell
You
her that.
motherfucker! You live here for free. If I had
It doesn't matter.
any method to contact your father and tell him that you weren't going to school, I fucking would, because you don't deserve to live here. You deserve to be out on the fucking street, dude. Because you're a fucking liar. I am done with you. Done.
Can I speak?
No. I'm fucking done with you.
The entire thing is somewhat of an uncomfortable listen, as it's simply Jason and Kyber scolding Bleakly for having the audacity to ask them to pay rent. In the start, Bleakly asked the duo why he had gotten booted from their friend group on Discord, then being met with a blunt response from a somewhat harpy-like Kyber.
You're a fucking man-child, dude.
Man-child, yeah.
That's the reason why you're 26 and a virgin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
You fucking deserve it.
I sure do.
Yes, you do. I will never speak to you again once I'm out. I'm gone.
I didn't ask you. If that's what you feels best, then go ahead.
There's not exactly much of a redeeming glow for these two anywhere in this clip. In my own thoughts, Jason seems like someone you could have a discussion with in real life. There could be a respectful back and forth with him. As respectful as you would expect. Kyber, on the other hand.
Hello? I don't want you having anything to do with my friends. I'm gonna tell all my friends how much of a piece of fucking shit you are and how emotionally abusive you are. I'm fucking destroying you. That's it. You think you had a social circle? Nah, not anymore. You fucked with the wrong person.
I know I'm supposed to remain neutral, but come on now. Anyway, the remainder of this clip is essentially the two of them teaming up against Bleakly, blackmailing him with lying to his parents about going to college, simply because he asked for rent.
You don't have to resort to name calling.
Yeah,
no, we do.
Because nothing else works.
Nothing else works.
I'm like exhausted.
We are both mentally exhausted. It's tearing our relationship apart. You're literally causing a rift between a 5-year relationship, and you don't get it. All because of you!
Almost every line that comes out of them is just another manipulative verse, just designed to make their victim feel like they're always in the wrong, only to follow up with all they wanted was to see him happy.
We've helped you so much, and you are so fucking ungrateful.
I appreciate...
No, you're not!
You've been saying to us for fucking ages that we use you. You don't have anything! I don't give a shit about this. It's a fucking building. I can live anywhere. I don't give a fuck about your fucking house.
All we gave a shit about was you and seeing you happy.
And that's the goddamn honest truth.
It becomes especially infuriating how the two go to say how he wasn't abused, how he was disciplined, and that they were true victims. However, there were two lines here that I found almost humorously bad.
Because we don't fucking lie. You can post this conversation, if you're recording it, anywhere.
No one will believe you.
No one will fucking believe you.
Yeah, because, well, you guys are popular.
And why are we popular? Because we do the right fucking thing.
Who do you think the cops
The right thing.
are going to trust? The predatory creep or the female that is distressed out of her fucking mind right now?
They would then go on to do not the right thing. Because following this hour-long shout match, Kyber would then go to the police, as well as Twitter, making an attempt to pull a false Me Too on Bleakly. Even with the tweet, they would go on quickly to spread the narrative to their relatives and friends. The police even went to interrogate Bleakly, where he would hand over the recordings he had, and they refused to press charges based on how Kyber's story was incredibly inconsistent. Bleakly didn't even press charges himself. He just wanted to move on from the entire ordeal. You can hear in the clip how defeated he sounds, as if being verbally abused was a normal occurrence. I can't exactly show you the source tweet for proof because, yeah, but JSonFX does mention it in his Fur Affinity journal, saying how they were in a temporary living situation to distance themselves between them and the offender, so they can buy a house safely. You could bring up how it's common courtesy that they didn't send a full-on mop against this guy, although you could also just bring up how the whole thing was a lie. Before this journal, they hyped up their move in with Bleakly, talking on how it was a great opportunity, but the moment rent became a clear and conscious concern, he attacked, saying that he could live anywhere and that it was Bleakly who begged him to stay. However, that was only one of the abhorrent unfoldings I wanted to go through. The next and final occurrence still involves less than desirable audio, just in a different sense. Now, Kyber, or Caitlin, was on DeviantArt before joining Fur Affinity in 2012, her original handles being Kyber and Cabby Cakes. Her DeviantArt was active for 5 years. the birthday on the account matching a posted ID. The difference though was that the ID said 1996, where the account said 1994. However, there was one profile that goes back further, this being the account Cucked. Not only does the account match the ID's date of birth, but this account comes with photos of Kate as well as art and pics of her lioness character. Moving forward, we can see that on March 19th, 2012, Jill won a prize that she had asked to feature her and her boyfriend at the time, Soren, who had gone by Sin Che on DeviantArt and Aaron on Fur Affinity. With Soren living in Germany, that would make this a long-distance relationship. At the time, Aaron appears to have changed the design for his lion around 3 years ago, removing most remnants of the previous design. The only one locatable seems to be a not safe for work commission he had received, but nonetheless, keep Aaron in mind, as he plays a very important part in the main plot of this event. This piece from Twitterloo was posted about a month after Kate joined Fur Affinity, confirming that she had her lioness character when she joined in 2012. So, where does Jason fit into this picture? The two met while Kate was still with Aaron in 2012. They appear to have scrubbed their accounts of this, but as you would expect, nothing really disappears on the internet. Jason had gone and done a commission for Kate and Aaron while the two were still together. This commission also had audio to accompany it, a specific piece of audio that there have been multiple rumors surrounding. Well, I'm here to tell you that those weren't exactly rumors. You hear that? That's the sound of the underage. This commission featured art drawn by herself, animated by Jason, with voices coming from her and Aaron. Just searching this.
This is the not safe for work voice acting by when she was a minor. This is what the Kiwi Farmers thing was referring to.
Animation by the crude title of Take It Hard will show a video version deleted by its uploader, yet still sporting the 2012 tag. Going by these dates, one can conclude that
well, who would be posting audio of a minor acting sexual on YouTube? Well, no.
At the time of this commission being posted, Kate would have been no older than 16 at the time of this being put together. It also doesn't help that, according to Aaron's Facebook, he was born in 1993, making him no older than 19 at the time of this occurrence. Makes it look like Kate's been around people taking advantage of her longer than her time with just Jason. Going back to the art, the commission was posted around 2012. Going by time, it would make sense why her lioness is shown here, and shortly after, she has a new character by the name of Zell in December of the same year. This commission being with someone. Anyway, as Aaron and Kate broke up, Jason found his way in not too long after. No problem with that, except for the fact that in December of 2012, Kyber is 16, with Jason being around 21 years old. These two would go on to have their characters appearing in romantic and sexual art before Cabs would give her character away in May of 2013. And I'm sure we all know what comes after that. Now, this whole thing seems like quite the incriminating circumstance. However, this more or less acts isn't exactly as law-breaking as you would expect, seeing as the age of consent in Canada, as well as most parts of Australia, is 16. So, yeah. The only defense you can really muster for this one is, hey,
it wasn't against the law. Now was it?
So, that's the catalog of drama and less.
But you can tell the girl was getting groomed way before she was 16. She was just exchanged like property from one groomer to the other.
And stellar behavior of the well-known lizard man Jasonifex. Some may have issue with his constant use of dismissing proof with the constant mention of a straw man. Others may not see a problem with it, mainly due to the fact of how long ago it was and the fact that it wasn't illegal. So, what do you guys think? How redeemable do you think his actions are? Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments below, and until next time, we are adjourned.
But we have 2 more videos talking about Jason FX. Next one called Jason FX, the most hated artist in the furry fandom. By the way, Jason FX has or had a talk show on YouTube called The Cock Shack, referring back to that document about the divorce from Fox. Can you understand why this whole thing has another more despicable layer? Do you understand what I mean here? They probably wanted to cuck the guy from the fucking beginning. This was probably fucking kink-based. Less than, you know, saving that poor woman from an abusive husband. This was most likely a fucking fetish thing.
Fine, you know what it is, it's Cucked Shack. Caveman quits the furry community, what's up with that?
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening.
Hey guys, today we're speaking about a very certain person, Mr. Jason Afex. Jason Afex? Or just shut the fuck up, X. Now, I generally try to stay unopinionated, but as the song More Than You Know by Axel and Gressel says, I just need to get it off my chest. More than you know, more than you know. Let's get into it. Now, this leech of the furry fandom has been in more than a handful of his controversies, but here's the history of him. Born in 1991 in Western Australia, known as the furry behind Amorous and the creator of Cucked Shack. Ooh, look at me, I'm Jason Afex, I'm so alpha.
Yeah, oi! You got a fucking ciggy, cunt?
He lives with Caviar in Canada and frequently loves to view gay porn with her, although him being straight. That is true. That is true. Jason Afex found controversial success with his Cucked Shack show, where he'd have controversial or hot topic people on the show, including the politically dangerous Two Griffin, paedophilia accused Zosh, and the mentally insane Catholics. It's called Cucked Shack because Jason Afex.
Do you guys remember the furry that made the video in defense of pedophiles? You guys remember that one? Yeah, he had that guy as a guest.
I can't pleasure Caviar in the bedroom. Jason Afex has seen a huge amount of controversy besides the disgusting transphobia. I've seen a video from Wolfaside that discussed the fraudulent raffle he put together, where he basically drew a winner. Basically, when he got his winner, the art that he asked Jason for wasn't enough. He just outright refused to do it and then redrew a new winner, probably because it wasn't gay porn him and Caviar could watch. Since his show is called Cucked Shack, it's not very alpha of you to watch gay porn with your girlfriend. But luckily, another artist took the commission free of charge, and guess what big strong Jason did? Like a dubious adult, like a normal person. He left a snarky comment under it. Maybe actually hold a raffle correctly next time. The numbers are definitely gone to his head.
Such. Too bad it ain't the ending though, because Jason decided to rear his ugly head in the fucking comments for the animation, leaving a snide remark that can only be described as the most pissy passive-aggressive comment I think I've ever read. This turned out great. The ambient effects are better than what I could have achieved. I particularly like the little panning 3D effect that can occur from moving your mouse around. For the characters themselves, I really like the ear flick / curve, which is a nice attention to detail there. The only real downside is that the characters remain mostly static, but it can't really be helped due to the pose. Overall, fantastic work! So not only does this guy have the audacity to come and comment on the final animation that he refused to do, but he also gives his input on the final product, complaining that the characters remain mostly static. Nobody asked you, Jason. Nobody fucking asked you.
Welcome to the Jexit Countdown, where today we're going to be speaking more about Jason Afex and Caviar leaving the furry fandom. Let me show you a comparison about how the fandom reacts.
Show sucks, man. Yeah, man.
You got any? But Jason and Caviar left the fandom. Let's see him break down the final Cucked Shack episode for this entirement. Okay, this is basically how the entire episode went. Jason constantly speaks about how the reason for him leaving the fandom is the fact that there's no good furries willing to work with him anymore. A quick hot take on the reason your show tanked wasn't because the furry fandom's actions, it was because of your own actions. As more people point you out as a repulsive person for the transphobia, the faking raffles, and a general distaste towards you, especially for the raffles. Faking a raffle and picking a winner not by their drawing but by their ideas. Don't blame the furry fandom for your horrible actions and of who you associate with. Zosh, Two Griffin, Catholics were not those liked people in the fandom at the point of you making this video. He then speaks about positive role models a lot, that there's none left within the community, that Zosh, who was being accused of being a paedophile, and 2 Griffin, which is, as I said, politically dangerous, is named some of them positive role models within the community. These two were and still are a bit one of the most hated and distasteful people on YouTube and Twitter. Some real positive role models are Majira, of course, Ai Boyo, Mark Barks, and Beta, of course. These people make amazing content, and if you were to watch more normalised YouTube, you'll find much better role models out there than watching political or kink-based furry YouTube. Can I just say, KBR's mic throughout the entire show has made me want to take a bat to my head.
Live in Smethwick, Birmingham. If you want the fucking brawl, come down Smethwick Hospitality, or come out my house, and I'll break your fucking legs, you little prick!
Anyway, that's the history, guys. Jason's now become a budget version of Jameski, living off the bones of VR chat, and KBR's in the void. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys later. Also, I got a new mic.
God, this is so loud. Furries make the worst videos. I make shit videos, but furries, man, they have no quality control. Next one from the same guy. Then after this we have another one, but before I do anything with that one, I'll give you guys another short history lesson about what these guys were involved with. The next one is the Furry Underdev, Jason FX.
To quote one of the evilest men...
I'll put this one up a bit faster since, again, don't want to keep you guys here forever. Because that's fucking terrible to do. Let's put it at 120% speed.
To quote one of the evilest men in history, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. That quote was written by Joseph Goebbels. Today we're speaking about another one of the fandom's most infamous characters. This is The Long Fall.
You deserve to be abused. You deserve to be abused.
I made a video almost a year ago on this topic, so following on from the previous video, that was made very quickly, and you must say you know it's a serious video when I bust out the gameplay. So I've decided to take a deeper look into Jason Apex, and hopefully show the true shit that this dickhead's
Why quote the Nazi? Because furries are stupid?
getting into. And the fact that he still has fans is fucking mad to me, and his stepped-on wife is the exact same. So let's begin with some history on Jason. Jason Grant, born July 3rd, 1991 in Western Australia. He joined the fandom somewhere around 2012, and that's where the pandemic truly started. He got his rise, as anyone did back then, making pornographic and not safe for work content, and he began working on his first game, named Bare Backstreets. With his then young girlfriend Kabir, aged 15 in 2012, he was around 21 at the time. May have been older, but that is unknown at this point. In 2018, he released his game, Amoris, fully published onto Steam, and he began working on his third game named Killer Kobolds that was shelved due to consistent changing of programmers and staff, with multiple creative differences. He left the fandom in 2018 due to toxicity and now stays on Twitter constantly in pudding, where he's not truly wanted, or where he doesn't belong. Jason then moved towards normalised content, but Jason doesn't have any sort of personality or humour. He just plays VR chat and clickbaits sex constantly. Ooh, boobies, look. But hey, I guess it sells, because his army of brain-dead psychopathic 13-year-olds seem to love and worship him like a god despite the absolute disgusting nature of his offline and Twitter reputation. Let's get into it.
Hey! Ain't nothing like a good now! Hey!
Now, Jason has been known to live with his underage girlfriend in a renovated fucking tool shed they call the Cucked Shack. Because Cook, haha, funny laugh, did you guys laugh? Comment down below. You are legally obligated to. Now, in order to get funds to renovate the shed, they turned to GoFundMe.
I told you guys, there's no good guys in this story. Everyone's fucking terrible.
With
I'm terrible for showing it to you too.
Jason's large numbers, they should have been able to pull in a large amount of donors. So after begging his fans for money, even though
Not even the people that cover it are good people.
they were gaining around $3,000 collectively a month, they refused to get a regular apartment together. But the funniest thing about all of this, in fact, was that they scammed everybody out of the money. So they raised around $3,379, a fucking hefty amount for a tiny shed to kind of build it up. So what would they do with it? Build a second floor maybe? Working toilet? Proper working electrics? Maybe Wi-Fi? No, they bought a $2,000 rat dog. So they wasted everybody's money, some even donating up to $190. Are you for real? They wasted it on a Shiba Inu puppy. Like, Jason, you don't need a new dog, mate. Your wife's already enough for a fucking dog. A huge part that is well known about Jason Aphex is his love for bestiality. Oh, no wonder he bought the dog. But Jason, way back in the day, released a comic named Man's Best Friend, with benefits, where normally anthropomorphic animals in the comics have a conscience and are able to consent themselves. This one was just about shagging the family dog. It's weird how he wrote this story directly after he bought a new Shiba Inu puppy. But the actual writing of this is fucking atrocious. I'd honestly put Anision's self-published book above this filth any day. The entire comic is like falling downstairs with a typewriter and going, yes, that's pretty good, I'll publish that. Something funny as well is that the comments on his Ask FM after he released it, about the Man's Best Friend comic. Do the negative comments you occasionally get regarding the subject matter actually hamper your enjoyment in making the comic, or can you easily negate the opinions of those who seemingly do not understand the difference between reality and fiction? I wouldn't say it hampered the enjoyment to work on it, but it does make me nervous to post each page. It's sad that a lot of people feel the need to shove their negative opinions in the faces of people who actually enjoy bestiality and artwork. Funnily enough, most of those who make snarky comments are more than often into equally or even more fucked up kinks than Jay and I are. There is another one, but I don't know if it's a Photoshop job, but it kind of sounds like something Jason would do. Now, about his wife, they also released a bunch of literary garbage based around the Undertale franchise, where the storyline, to put it briefly, was forcing one of the smaller, younger characters to have an incestuous relationship with his mother. You're fucking deranged, love.
My daddy was not nice to me!
As well as Jason's craving for bestiality, back in 2018 people made the discovery that K-Beer's voice was in one of Jason's previous animations. The thing was that K-Beer was underage when this all happened, and this featured sexual moaning and comments from her. Upon the uproar, Jason managed to get a 1-month ban from Fur Affinity. There was also minor stuff that could have led up to this, but this is what I personally believe got him banned for this length. Something else in terms of scams that we spoke about earlier was the fact that he scammed people out of almost $3,379. Along with the previous scam, he also rigged a raffle. He basically had a raffle that he made in order to thank his followers for some milestone. The raffle was a your character here, GIF image, a free commission of whatever he wanted. What happened was, someone won the raffle, and then he gave the request to Jason. Jason said no because it wasn't pornography. He then redrew the raffle, and that's honestly fucking dirty. Even then, luckily another artist picked up the commission and did it fully for free, and did an absolutely superb job on it. What did Jason do? Left a snarky comment pointing out these littlest insignificant details in an attempt to devalue the artist's work. He is a filthy prick.
Comments I think I've ever read. This turned out great. The ambient effects are better than what I could have achieved. I particularly like the little panning 3D effect that can occur from moving your mouse around. For the characters themselves, I really like the ear flick / curve, which is a nice attention to detail there. The only real downside is that the characters remain mostly static, but it can't really be helped due to the pose. Overall, fantastic work! So not only does this guy have the audacity to come and comment on the final animation that he refused to do, but he also gives his input on the final product, complaining that the characters remain mostly static.
Next point. My favourite point. Jason Aphex is honestly the worst person on the planet in terms of Twitter. He pushes his nose in everywhere he can to make snarky comments. One instance of this I've seen is where someone had made a comic about their abuse and showcasing what was happening to them. Jason made a plethora of dumb cunt comments where a literal doctor kept saying, "Hey cunt, you're wrong." Jason then went on an attack and said doubting the doctor's legitimacy of the person with a medical doctorate. And then they got slapped by everybody. Then Human Sludge came on Twitter later to apologise for Jason's actions. K-Beer then posted her own comic speaking about her abuse and about being bullied online. Well, let's take a quick listen to this audio recording we'll be discussing later.
You don't deserve to speak. You deserve to be beaten down because I think that's the only way you're gonna fucking learn.
Well, K-Beer, you seem to be in a pickle here, don't you? Want to know how Jason shuts down his enemies? Well, there's two routes. Make fun of a very sensitive topic they deal with, or block them. For someone who screams and cries about free speech, I find it deeply funny that he constantly, without fail, blocks somebody for their opinion. That's cringe, bro. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not free speech. Jason constantly screams about snowflakes on Twitter while locking himself into a safe space that only he can listen to himself speak, and his utterly brain-dead thoughts that come through. The next part he loves to do is make fun of people who have sensitive issues surrounding them. A lot of furries have their pronouns in their bio or something that they are proud of. This mother had an autistic son and had autism mom in their bio. Jason is almost 30 years old. A 30-year-old man attacked a literal autistic child, making fun of them. A child. This man truly has no morals, and he bitches about SJWs are hurting the fandom, yet he doesn't understand why everyone hates him. Aside from Jason's stupid tweets, we all know him for his beautiful racism. So is Kabier, but we'll leave that for another time. Many screen caps show him lovingly using the N-word in Discord, and he responded to a lot of his haters. He says that racism is just a differing opinion. No, it's not. It's openly targeting someone for their race. Like when you called Sonic Fox a nice fellow. Through this meme, you and your wife helped share that was created by the brainstem that is Kenny Lupine. His transphobia is beautiful too. Now, something else that Jason done was, as well, I may be reaching here, and here's the only part I have to say allegedly on. Dino Party was a gaming group created by Jason in order to circle himself with the degenerate fans and create his own safe space. Now, this wasn't moderated by Jason, and he never really showed up in the place, and the mods he chose allowed and enabled paedophilia and a lot of grooming to ensue. A known paedophile was on the moderation team, and he was actively allowing further paedophilia to happen within this group. Something else I've had the disgusting pleasure of meeting were his fans. His fans honestly reminded me of the kids from Florida.
But every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet.
The audio balancing on this is all over the place.
Okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody?
Definitely a Jason Afex subscriber. But to truly explain what Jason Afex subscribers are is it's a lot like what happens and how people fall into different political agendas. Those kids are the fucking weird kids that touches the dog's asshole, and then Jason Afex goes, oh, well, that's okay if you have that kink, son, I make comics about that. And he's that side of the fandom that when everyone else is when you're outcast by everyone else, he will go, well, it's okay, son, I accept you. But he's still friends with the guy that uses kids for reference when making furry porn. 90% of his fans, whenever Jason and Kavier are caught in controversy, is to shout, mind your business, David! Mind your business, David! And they just shout, mind your business, it's not your business. So, since it's none of our business, we should just let people actively groom kids until they come of age. You're disgusting. Your IQ is -3, and you are and have stupid. Something else he's done.
That's the reason why you're 26 and a virgin. Hello? I don't want you having anything to do with my friends. I'm gonna tell all my friends how much of a piece of fucking shit you are, and how emotionally abusive you are. I'm fucking destroying you. You deserve to be abused. You don't deserve to speak. You are tearing me and Jason apart. Can you explain?
Miss Kabier, hello, how are you? That doesn't matter. Kabier is an artist from New Caledonia, Ontario. She originally began making art under the username Brenji.
I mean, it's furries talking on furries. What else did you expect in terms of quality of these videos? But, you know, that's the best sources. They are available on all of this stupid shit.
But later changed to Kabier. Kabier is extremely well known for her disgusting and outright shit takes on Twitter. If I have to compare it to anything I'd say, it would be this scene from Rick and Morty. She goes onto Twitter spouting her shit and normally comes out a tumbling, crying, manic mess. Whining all over her tweets, and honestly my favourite thing about her has to be the transphobia. It's unbelievably sad, her transphobia is. Remember the t-shirt trend that everyone did where you'd put a t-shirt saying trans rights are human rights? She made one saying everyone deserves human rights. Obviously knowing how her conservative views are, she was attempting to rile people up. It didn't really work and only really caused people to rag on her instead of what she was creating. She then went on to purposely misgendering people on the spot for using she in terms of other furry creators. Honestly, the reason I believe Caitlyn is transphobic is purely because trans women actually manage to pass more as women. I take that! Something else Kate is well known for is her unbelievable racism, where she openly spreads around a meme about Sonic Fox being a very nice fellow. This was all sparked because Sonic Fox had commissioned them a few years earlier, and when Sludge Gal and Shitbag fell into their true selves, he tweeted that he felt sorry that he even commissioned them. Imagine being that petty.
To give you a too long didn't read, Jason FX is a retard, Wolf is a retard, Cabs is a retard, the guy that's playing in this video is a retard, and Sonic Fox is a retard. What's the commonality here? They're all furries.
To go out and overly attack someone for their race because they didn't like your current views on certain topics. Fucking hell. I'm going to show you some audio recordings I found. The context of these audio recordings is as so. Kabier and Jason begun living with another friend that wishes not to be named, so I won't name him. They lived free of charge. They didn't contribute anything financially to the escape of the household. All they did was cover for groceries. After a while, 2 months to be exact, of no rent, the friend puts his foot down, and this is what happens. Firstly, I want to say that the friend had no involvement with this video, and I found these audio recordings from my own research and out of my own volition. Also, I cut out the most interesting parts. You can find the full hour-long recording relatively easy if you look for it. It is legit 55 minutes long of Caitlin berating this poor fucking guy. Jason interjects to back up his girlfriend like a fucking simp.
That's the reason why you're 26 and a virgin. Hello? I don't want you having anything to do with my friends. I'm gonna tell all my friends how much of a piece of fucking shit you are and how emotionally abusive you are. I'm fucking destroying you. You deserve to be abused. You don't deserve to speak. You are tearing me and Jason apart.
Can you explain? Not every night.
You are tearing.
We decided to split the grocery bill too. We decided to split the grocery bill. You're not cooking every night.
You deserve to be beaten down because I think that's the only way you're gonna fucking learn. Yeah, just stop.
There's some.
Oh no, poor Lee. Oh, life is so hard living in a mansion in the richest part of. You're done. Your friend circle.
Frankly, furry VTubers are better than seeing them in fursuits. I am too used to VTubers, and this is too weird for me. Someone who likes VTubers just can't stand these fursuits.
Is done. Because they're all gonna know what you did to us. You better fucking believe they will. And you can tell them all the lies you want to about how we're the abusive ones and we're the monsters, but in the end, they're not gonna believe anything you say. I'm gonna make sure I find a way to contact your dad so he fucking knows.
Just fucking contact his sister.
Oh.
Speaks English.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna make sure that they know that you're not going to school. Oh, you're fucked, dude. You fucked with the wrong people. I'm 20 years old and I have my shit put together with you.
My dad.
You're literally causing a rift between a 5-year relationship, and you don't get it. Do not touch my.
See how she told on herself that she's 20 and she's causing a rift in a 5-year-old relationship?
My fucking dog. I swear to God. Do not touch my dog. Do not touch my dog. No, Kate.
I love it when they tell on themselves.
Please, you're not a fucking victim.
You're not.
You're not a victim. You deserve everything that's coming to you.
Privileged rich kid. You're not fucking a victim at all.
I was hit in the face by my mom too.
So was I.
We were
I can fucking tell.
all hit. It's nothing fucking special. You're not special. You are not a victim.
You're not special. I was hit in the face too, you fucking tart.
We've all been abused, and we've probably been abused worse than you have.
Considering we're more fucking emotionally and mature.
It's funny that it doesn't matter what political sides you're on. Fucking narcissists are always gonna victimize themselves. That doesn't matter. It's also fucking frail and stupid.
I'm 21, and I have my shit together more than you have.
Like, probably gonna say that this
No!
is 26. You're not letting me explain.
No, you don't get to.
See?
Because you treat us like shit.
Kabier constantly has to be in control of the situation. I also notice how she, while being a preacher of free speech, clamps down on this guy's speaking, constantly screaming at him, telling him you don't get to speak and to shut up. So in her opinion, free speech is only free when she gets to talk. After these recordings were made, they moved out, but not before attempting to ruin this man's life. Kabier falsely filed a police report and told all of his friends and family and Twitter themselves, exclaiming on Twitter that he raped her. Could you imagine that? You're getting a knock on your door and it's the woman that lives with your son, and your son she tells you that your son had raped her and that your son is a rapist. Once the friend was questioned about it by the police, he showed them the recordings of her loudly exclaiming on multiple occasions, "I'm gonna ruin your life," and that they are fucking with the wrong people. Once the police heard all of this, the charges on the friend were dropped, due to both Kabier's story being completely inconsistent and the audio recording proving that he was innocent. So after being asked to pay rent, and they then move out and falsely accuse their previous landlord of being a rapist. That is disgusting. Something peculiar I also noticed was, at the start of the recording she exclaims, "I'm 20 years old and I've got my shit together."
I'm 20 years old and I have my shit put together with you.
My dad.
After a while they begin to figure out that the friend is recording, and she makes sure to constantly say she's 21. Now this doesn't seem like anything of note, but not when you take into consideration what else was said. that they were in a 5-year relationship.
You're literally causing a rift between a 5-year relationship, and you don't get it!
20 minus 5. That would mean she was 15 when Jason began to date her and become intimate with her. 21 and she's 16. Jason constantly exclaims about how he was above the law and that it's okay since she was 16, that's the age of consent in both Australia and Canada. But on Jason's old GoFundMe, he posted in 2015, it said that he had been in a 3-year relationship with his girlfriend.
Legality of fucking dating a minor, and, you know, the morality of fucking dating a minor, and as someone more experienced in life, someone in their fucking 20s, manipulating her into doing all of that sex stuff, not to mention the voice acting, and yeah, they probably fucked. They 100% fucked. So yeah, I'm quite sure Jason FX fucked the minor. You know, apart from all of this shit that we're talking about.
3 years prior in 2012, they'd begun dating. Jason was 21 and KBR was 15. This violates age of consent rules in Australia and Canada. Canada has a rule that if the partner is 14 or 15, they can date someone within the age range of 5 years above. Jason doesn't qualify for that and is, by definition, a child groomer. This part is purely speculatory and alleged, but if any images were shared during this time, not saying that there was, but that would mean that Jason was accepting the distribution of child pornography and possibly broke child exploitation laws in Canada based on their relationship, how it formed and the age difference of 6 years between them. Could I get the RCMP, please? Ontario Division, please. Something I must say is that Twitter is completely underestimated. Do you understand? When you think about it, how many times do you think Twitter has stopped people like Kavier and Jason from walking into a public place and just, you know, we all know what I'm on about. Editor, start playing.
I don't know why this sketch about the video talking about grooming is needed here.
I have multiple personality disorder. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are looking for the sources, I will leave them all down below for the website that I used and referenced. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Yeah, you guys go and have a good day.
Okay, I'm happy this is finally over. Let me get back to the music, and there's still a few more things about Jason FX before we actually move to Fox, because Fox and Wolf and Jason and their whole organization involved in that Fur for All convention is also an interesting story, so we'll get into that too. Well, you and your friends and your fans will know the fires of hell. I've seen you before, aren't you really bonkers? Yeah, I've been... like, this really demonstrates what the fucking furry fandom is made out of. Yeah, I've been getting better. But I'd rather be a Nazi than a nonce. Furries, man. And here, now we have that very cool conversation I was talking to you about. With Jason FX talking about him dating cabs. And talking to it with other people on was this Fur Affinity or was this something else? I forgot where this was actually, but it's still there. It's a conversation from 4 years ago. How did you meet Kabier? She was fan of my animation work here on FA. Oh, it's Fur Affinity, alright. And commissioned me. That was my first interaction. It was very pleasant. I found her motivation for saving money and going over expectation. For online boyfriend very sentimental. She knocked her account shortly after it was posted and was essentially offline from the internet for 3 to 4 months. Eventually found her username on Steam and discovered her boyfriend catfished her at the airport, starting her new internet to show up and doing the same thing to multiple impressionable girls online. I invited her to games, collabs, and chats to report the damaged view of furry community. Things blossomed over time from there. Oh man. It was a long distance as a relationship could possibly get, being on the complete opposite sides of the planet. But we had enough in common and the right mindset to make it work, all the way to today. You're a good person, Jason. Is your name really Jason, right? I salute to you, sir. Do keep in mind, Cabs was no older than 16 when they met, and Jason is 5 years older than her. When you call him great. Oh, yup. I'm sorry who precisely has determined the standard that someone who is 21 cannot be morally with consenting 16-year-old? Which country is that based in? Was it in Catholic Church, Mormons, Evangelicals? What source do you have that instructs people that is morally corrupt to do so? Sources, please. Furries, man. Dark Wraith, what is grooming? What is messing with children's fucking minds and getting with them in relationships as adults? I love furries and their fucking morality. It's all over the fucking place. Pot meat kettle. You are from the Netherlands. In which age of consent is 16? The same age of consent as Australia and Canada. The countries in which we are from, you apply standards on others you do not even use. 5 years age gap is the second most common age disparity among couples. Women statistically date up in terms of age. My own parents have aged at a gap of 10. My sister an age gap of 7. Kate's parents an age gap of 10, reversed with female being the senior. If you're going to try for clout, aim at something real. Good argument, except the evidence. I strongly suggest that you were involved with Cabs when she was 15. Well, even if giving you the benefit of the doubt, very few people would agree that a 21-year-old has any business dating a 16-year-old. And just to nitpick, pot meat kettle is used on someone who is guilty of which they are accusing someone else of. I don't go around grooming 15-year-olds. Except they're happy couples, so there was clearly no grooming involved, you hateful nutjob. Furries, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A. Someone who doesn't know how grooming works. Mind you, I found all of this in the span of 2 hours. If I looked more, I probably would have found more crazy shit like this. You seem mad. I bet you're part of the anti-Jason FX crowd. Probably anti a lot of other pop furs too. Which is popular furs. Something, jealous and irrelevant. I love this amount of assumption, but I have a feeling that denying any of it would just lead you to making different assumptions. Because you are fanboy through and through. Because only fanboys throw around jealously, and you're not popular enough if it's an argument. At the risk of that, I don't think he's a great person. He's done some animation I enjoy, but that's about it. I'm not against pop furs. I just dislike certain types of people. Thinking there's nothing wrong with a 20-something dating a 15 or 16-year-old makes you one of the types people I dislike. Hey there, groom victim here. I was groomed. Surprise, surprise. Please respond and lecture me about how victims of childhood grooming aren't capable of recognizing they were groomed, and therefore what I say means nothing. Let's just ignore the fact that I'm fully developed adult now while we're at it. Don't ever think you can speak on behalf of me, or anyone you don't know on the internet for that matter. Cheers. Cabier, by the way. You know, the person that was groomed. Furries, man. Unfortunately, the law begs to differ. Unfortunately for me, I prefer taking the law at its word than someone I don't know. And this isn't still doesn't change anything about the iffiness of a 21-year-old dating a 15 or 16-year-old. The law in the states of age of consent in both our countries is 16. Funny how Jason immigrated legally to Canada without issue, isn't it? You do realize that when you are immigrating to a country via a common law visa, they look into your relationship history. Funny how the Canadian government found nothing nefarious or iffy about it. Or shall we ignore those facts too? I doubt they fucking looked into any of that. You and others keep spewing bullshit from an account created to harass me and my fiance endlessly. Funny how you're so against taking the word of someone you don't even know on the internet when it comes to what I have to say about my own relationship. But clamor to referencing a parody account for supposed proof. Who am which I also randomly is also a random person on the internet. I guess you get to choose and pick what the excuse works for you, eh? I really have nothing else to say to you at this point, as any argument I try to make is going to follow upon deaf ears. All I can really say is enjoy demonizing on the internet who literally don't matter. I'm sure that's a skill that's going to really improve your day-to-day life. That's a lot of fucking projecting going on, considering what we know about Kabir and how she behaves towards people. I may have said done bad things, but at least I can own up to and apologize for being an asshole. Once again, cheers. Once again, legal doesn't mean morally sound. Yes, I could legally go on fucking 16-year-old, and it doesn't mean that it won't be considered a depraved pervert for doing so. I'm sure you're happy with your relationship, but I'm also saying that by virtue of being in that relationship, you are inherently biased. As it stands, there's probably a little more wrong with your relationship than with most furry ones, but that doesn't mean the way it started feels kosher. Virtue of being in a relationship feels kosher, morally sound. So you resorted to blatant virtue signaling when you're out of your material. Nobody cares what you think, and your presence here is a drain on everyone. The evidence I've seen, and yet you don't leak any. Very few people would agree that a 20-year-old has a business dating a 16-year-old. You're actually the minority, fam. Links to an article that deals with people dating with an age gap. I don't get around grooming 15-year-olds. You can't even be consistent with your story. You opened with 16, now it's 15. Age seems very flexible for your narrative. See, he's attaching himself to trying to gaslight that person, to question what they're doing in that whole conversation. It's really a form of deflection at this point. And yet you don't link any. Voila. You're actually the minority, fam. Right, let's see. Male-female relationships average difference at 20 years old, 2.5 years at 21.5 years, 2.5 years at 23, 2.5 years. Yep, totally proving that's totally accepted for a 21-year-old to be involved with someone 16 or younger. You can be even consistent with your story. You opened at 16, now it's 15. Her age seems very flexible for your narrative. See the above-mentioned tweet chain of evidence. She was at most 16. 16, 3 months and change when it became official. You met several months before, considering you already loose morals in breaking the both US and Australian law when it comes to adult material and minors at the time. Yeah, you can send porn to kids, and even it's very smart. Shocking, I know. I wouldn't be at all surprised you were e-snogging before her birthday. I think it's more likely she wasn't 16 than she was 16 than that she was. I'm glad this person isn't giving Jason effects an inch. They won't be gaslit so easily. LMAO, your proof is parody account dedicated to hating Kabir, of which doesn't even know our nationalities. The thought I flew to Australia to meet my ex-girlfriend. If you get your information from Twitter, you're sadly an idiot. Your narrative requires teleportation, fudging dates and disregarding all common sense. Let's face it, the reason you dislike people that garner praise is because you're an unlikable, bitter person with no quality to speak of. Once again, fucking projection. Stop acting like you speak on behalf of my country, Americans, or any other. You don't even respect the laws of your own. Nobody cares what you think think or your trash takes. Yeah, troll account couldn't possibly have archive links of things both of you posted that prove my point. No siree, that posts were never made. Fake news, right? Totally getting your logic here. I'm still curious when you get the idea that I dislike people getting praise, or that I'm bitter for any reason, or that I somehow don't respect my own country's laws. Seriously, where on earth did you pull that one from? XD. It's funny though. It's like you don't realize all your ad hominems aren't doing much but proving to me that you have no real case for yourself. I know this journal is a day old, but this comment seemed most relevant to my question. I've heard Canada and Australia are pretty similar and they both share some dishes like poutine. Like, hey guy, I know you guys are talking about grooming and serious pedophile accusations, but, you know, Canada and Australia have similar dishes like poutine, you know? Let's talk about those. Are you enjoying poutine there? I've been there before, so I know it's good shit. Also, what's most the obvious difference besides the lack of animals trying to kill you? Australia doesn't actually have poutine equivalent. You're made about our pastries, meat pies, and lump shanks. Cheese curds, gravy, and fries is kinda weird at first, but I more so get concerned with just how carb heavy it is, lol. Sits in your gut like a rock. I haven't heard too many times up here as a result. Too heavy. The ones with bacon shavings are nice though. Australia and Canada have very difficult cultures. I'm biased towards my own culture, but Cabs actually favors Australia too. So I guess that's a consensus, lol. We both like America and wouldn't mind living there. America's nice, but I'd recommend waiting maybe 5 more years, lol. Because, you know, Trump at that point. But these furries are fucking magnificent. Like, one comes in and inserts themselves into a discussion about furries, about fucking grooming to talk about food. Don't you just love furries? What's wrong with that? 16 is legal age of consent in many places all over the world. It's the age of consent in Washington, D.C., the very seat of power of the world. How about you shut up? Okay, thanks, bye. Legal doesn't equal moral. And it's cute that you think you're intimidating with that total non-argument. Wait, not cute. Sad. Yes, that's the word. LOL, your moral authority? You're on the degenerate Furry website, for fuck's sake. Alright, I forgot because I'm part of a minority that likes pornographic anthropomorphic art. I have to be okay with child grooming. Sarcasm, just in case. No surprise to anyone that most disliked person in the entire journal holds themselves as a moral authority of not only others, but their own nation, the nations of others. Mind you, all of this was done in public. This whole conversation is in public. It's not like secret to anybody. You can Google it and find this conversation. You're literally that guy complaining about happily engaged couple getting married this year and get a life instead of resenting the lives of others. Oh joy, more assumptions. These are always fun, especially since they are widely off target. Badly veiled personal attacks. The only reason the most disliked is because this is the only comment chain with more than 3 replies to it. And literally one other person besides you doesn't like to criticize something you did. Technically correct, but not exactly a hard feat. I would probably catch more flack if I said something bad about your art, which is honestly sad though, a sad thought. Come to think of it. I don't claim to be any kind of moral authority, but I'm basing my statements on having a larger group of acquaintances outside of the furry fandom, which is notoriously skewed towards pop furs and willing to ignore possible illegal activities. And here's, mind you, Kiro and, you know, the whole zoo sadist thing, if you guys know about this. Yeah, furries are notorious with hiding or just outright dismissing the terrible shit some of the most popular of them do. Let's continue. And having far looser morals than the general populace, I find the notions part especially funny, considering I hail from one of the most sexually liberated countries in the world, and the US is notoriously not that. I have to correct you on the second to last sentence. I'm not complaining about happily engaged couple getting married this year. In fact, until you typed that, I had no clue nor care to know that fact. I am pointing out potential illegal activity you engaged in, and the care take when calling someone great, especially when they have shown a certain lack of commonly accepted morals. I love the amount of ad hominems that have come out though. Normally, I'm the one who starts those first, so it's refreshing that someone else starts them before I even considered them. I'd have to resent the lives of others. I have a day job presenting my own already, and I'm not looking for a second job. Thank you very much. Might I point out, at no point did I indicate I resent yours. In fact, I would love to live your life. Not in the least, because I wouldn't be found dead in Australia. Ironic, since going there would be suicide, all the deadly shit crawling around. But I have no doubt you interpret my criticism as such. Oh please, don't pull a victim card. You made your bed. Own it. Where's the victim card though? This is all fucking projecting by this fucking guy. He can't make a proper argument about anything. You've already admitted your source to your pathetic attempts at evidence from a parody Twitter, of which exists to attack someone that holds different political beliefs. Twitter is a bubble, fam. Trying to play SJW tactics in the real world will get you laughed at. Go ahead and try to criticize her art. Yeah, the SJW tactics of trying to call out fucking grooming. But again, that doesn't conform to your narrative. That will show you actually care about the artist, which you don't. You are here to stroke your ego. Holy mother of projection. Like, every single sentence coming out of that guy is added deflection of projection. And it's so fucking obvious too. Not gonna give a shit about your personal politics or vendetta against other countries you deem less liberated. That is no excuse to act like a cunt to strangers. You can't get your story straight. You know who we are, and you can't even figure out where we live. Get off Twitter and start reading some self-help books if you genuinely love your existence. Pulling the victim card? No. If you're failing to recognize self-deprecating humor there, and again, you don't know how an expression works. I didn't make any bets. You're trying to shove me in one I had no intentions of entering. Huh. That concept rings a bell, no? Oh, this furry is really fucking based. And wow, you're calling it Twitter a bubble while you're acting on Fur Affinity of all places? That's just a precious XD criticize her art? Now, why would I do that? We're talking about you here. Oh, I see, trying to change my narrative again. Right, gotcha. I'll admit I'm stroking my own ego a fair bit right now. Doesn't happen often. People actually reply when I criticize them on here. Normally they just outright block you because of that little thing about bubbles. And I also love how you think I have a vendetta against other countries. Love how you're putting words in my mouth again. I'm just jokingly demolishing you frankly pathetic attempts at the personal attacks. My story is pretty straight though. I haven't really seen any proof that I'm wrong from you. And no equivalent of going, you're wrong, and a poopy face doesn't count as a proof. As far as I know, you live somewhere where it's not morally accepted for a 20-something-year-old to have a relationship with a 15 or 16-year-old. And that's all that matters. And frankly, with the way you're reacting, I'm starting to get more than a sneaking suspicion. You damn well know this is and are using this lovely gish gallop to distract from that. I'll repeat. If you're self-loathing and lashing out in all directions, trying to get people to block you and adopting a burn-it-all-down attitude, go read some self-help. Start with Jordan Peterson, and his concept is readily available on YouTube. This is the funniest shit he said. Start with Jordan Peterson. Holy shit, man. Start with Jordan Peterson. Resentment towards others, especially the admired and successful, not get you very far in life. Instead of shaking the fist angrily upwards, focus on yourself. What aspects of you could polish up and improve? Perhaps then you too can be responsible enough to commit to a relationship long term and discard the self-loathing for self-respect. By your own admission, I have nothing productive to share here, and here purely to be bitter. No one is going to tolerate that for very long. If you get blocked everywhere you go, take a moment and self-reflect why that is. And if it's really helping your self-esteem to be despised. Begin with an honest conversation with yourself before you'll be willing to have an honest conversation with others. Oh, you just stop. You're pushing it way too far. Yeah, Jason and KB have been assholes before, who hasn't? But at least they recognize how their origin story seems and are able to explain it. They're willing to apologize and work to make themselves better people. You yourself admitted to your own ego stroking and you're just enjoying the hell out of it. Of this. Congrats, you're one of the bunch of people who continue to harass two artists popular in the furry fandom just because they slight break the divide by 2 and 7 age rule. 21 divided by 10 plus 7 equal doesn't equal 17. Just 1 year off, and as they get older, the typical age rule became less appropriate. Assume Jason's 30 now, that becomes 22 preferred, but Kebby would then be 25 and that's older than that rule. So basically a 5-year age gap is more normal than one gets older. Long story short, you're whipping a dead horse. No one needs this much harassment, but something that's been approved by the Canadian government. Not a single person we've met when we were actually young gave us any hassle over our relationship. Not a single person. They hate her now because she came out as conservative. It's really disgusting. And you've mentioned Kabier in her mid-20s. Anytime she speaks, they dismiss her, while simultaneously acting like they're virtue signaling for women. In reality, they just want to silence women they don't like, treat them like infants. This is what they have no interest in criticizing her art that would be productive and offer something we can improve upon. They don't want improvement, they want you gone. Just curious, when you say conservative, do you mean Canadian conservatism or American conservatism? Because I'm pretty sure an American political curriculum that can be considered skewed when compared to foreign ones. Also, don't really care about what she comes out as. I don't follow Twitter if that's where the drama happened. Nor does one need to come out and say one likes an ideology. Just vote what you think is best. That's all, provided you're well informed. Jesus Christ, these people. They're a whole fucking circus of mental gymnastics. She supports Trump and biology. That alone is enough to trigger activists with clear agendas to push on others. They can't attack her art, her character, or debate her beliefs, so they resort to petty smear tactics, hoping to dissuade fans from enjoying her content. How do you mean by supporting biology? There's a certain political activist trying to perpetuate the concept that everything is a social construct. It's pretty straightforward to accept the facts of biology XY chromosomes. Yeah, and my closest friend in furry fandom when caught me stealing from his mate. Strange shit happens. These two are a happy couple who made the best out of a shit show for an opening chapter. Not to mention that 16 is the age of consent in most countries, so she was sexually mature at the time, but fucking clearly not mentally mature. None of these people should be mentally fucking mature to engage in any kind of sexual activity, by what I'm experiencing in this very fucking stream. And that is before they started getting romantic. On top of all of that, 5 years isn't pedo. 10 years even considered pedo among adults. Can I reiterate there are two adults in a happy consensual relationship? Yet 10 years between adults. Apply that to an adult and then a kid. Moving goalposts. I guess Furry is also known for that too. Some people are just sociopaths, fam. The person looks to our fans sharing praise, celebrating our engagement, and gets angry over it. Think about how miserable that person must be on a daily basis to reach that level of resentment towards others. Surround yourself with people that celebrate with you. Why go everywhere with me, myself and I? And this is their Cucked YouTube, KBR Quits Furries. Reminder, the Cucked. The notorious pair that cucked the Fox guy. All of this shit was sexual to begin with. And here's the hero of the hour. Here's Fox. You expect me to believe this man jumped the fence to steal your car? If you guys don't remember, the original document about the divorce had a sentence where this guy jumped the fence in order to steal a car. Is that him? Yeah, here's him a few years prior before. We're about to celebrate 3 years of marriage. We met on DeviantArt. He lived in Washington. I lived in, what was this, Oklahoma? He moved here to be with me. No matter what, he always takes care of me and loves me unconditionally. I love you, Fox. Oh yeah, so do women. But it's funny because you actually have to read what she wrote and contextualize it. Their marriage issues were due to her not wanting kids and him wanting them, which only gets worse after you see both of them start communicating outside their marriage. And here's a Peace Wolf post from 2021. Even after the worst of days, I know I'll always have you hold on to every night. I love you, Fox, forever and always. Art by Cute Deer. Only difference is really is which one did. He sexted a girl. She literally brought people into their home whom she visited alone at one point and had planned orgy on their bed for 8 days, then told them, I want a divorce. That is grotesque. And lastly, we get into the last part of it, which is their fucking organization, that Fur for All thing. So let me read something to you about that. This is gonna be off screen though, because it's a huge fucking page. So this is where the AWOO is gonna be relevant. So free for all. I'm reading this from the Wiki Fur, by the way, a wiki of all things furry. Free for all, America's Anthro Convention, also known as FFA, is an Anthro convention that takes place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA, and is run by Anthro West Organization Inc. And guys, guess what that gets abbreviated to? AWOO. Anthro West Open Organization Incorporated. AWOO. Free for All in 2022. Free Fur's All First event took place on July 29th to 31st, 2022 at Glenpool Conference Center in Glenpool, Oklahoma. The comedian and performer too, the Ranting Griffon, was featured as a guest of honor, with the con's slogan being Getting Back to Our Roots, based on the acclaimed American road US Route 66. During the closing ceremony of 2022's event, follow-up event for the next year's event was announced, and the 2022 attendees will also given the opportunity to receive a bonus veteran badge, registering within 24 hours of the announcement. Free for All at 2023. Free for All's second iteration will take place on July 28th to 30th, 2023. The theme is Be My Wigman, with guests of honor being Jason FX and K-Beer, with charity going to Lady Safari Zoo. Controversy. In August/September 2021, fandom and non-fur-friendly users expressed personally and in the name of the furry fandom their unhappy comments with AWOO's free-for-all convention perceived ties with the mainstream alternative right, alt-right, including fur and non-fur conservative and/or libertarian people that are behind and/or helping the convention itself and its announced guest of honor, the Ranting Griffon, all of whom been accused of ties to the alt-right. Users have accused people who are groups such as Furry Raiders of being racist, misogynist, homophobic, transphobes, zoophile supporters, QAnons, Nazis, and being hateful in general in the past. Citation needed. And they should not be able to host any furry meet or con because of such beliefs, using various ways to stop them, such as, for example, forcing the initial hosting hotel, the Tulsa Marriott Southern Hills, to cancel their contract, or according to some other disingenuous means, such as making bomb and mass shooting threats to the event, or track and dox personnel involved with AWOO, free-for-all, and friend of sympathizers. The accusations of AWOO's perceived insinuated in properties have included the free-for-all's now previous event date of the 1921's racial Tulsa massacre. And here's a quotation. Anyone else notice free-for-alls taking place in Tulsa and ends 2 days before the anniversary of the Tulsa massacre? Not just me, right? Free-for-alls promo video thumbnail design. Another quotation. The subtle aesthetic details in this flyer, the police badge-shaped logo, the fashy monochrome flag backdrop referencing the blue striped police flag, the constant red and white and blue. My god, it even echoes Trump's lion logo. The AWU logo itself, and another quotation here. AWU Association logo may be inspired by the Grey Wolves, a violent white supremacist organization. Or the charity that supports Safari Sanctuary, another quotation here. Safari Sanctuary has faced multiple accusations of animal abuse with the USDA, previously revoking its license to operate. A man who was also killed after a lion-tiger hybrid mauled him to death at the facility. The ongoing back and forth battle between both groups on social media continues as of September 2021. Loss of initial housing venue. By September 15, 2021, AWU posted that the initial venue was no longer available, blaming the intolerant dark side of the Antro fandom's threat of civil unrest for its loss. Members of the opposing side blame AWU's vows and loss of venue itself, particularly on the acts of some of its staff members, who, citation needed, threatening, while on social media, users who acts of violence all the way up to include the threat of outright murder, citation needed, which were saved via screenshots on various websites, citation needed. So basically no sources for anything. AWU responded to the accusations by pointing out that these flagrant posts, citation needed, were made by non-AWU staff people, in particular users KKK Clyde and Kani Lupin. KKK Clyde. KKK Clyde. Citation needed. On their Twitter accounts or on Free-for-All 2022 unofficial chat, an unsanctioned Free-for-All social site. Derogatory terminology ongoing. Some fur/non-fur users have come to describe FFA as a fashcon, fascist convention, fascist furries. Also a tip to the hat to Tumblr's failed DashCon event. Before even the first event live, irregardless of ongoing controversy or issue, to their perceived beliefs of the con staff and supporters' extremist views. FFA 2022 did conclude a ball pit a la DashCon, a self-deprecating joke. So yeah, they have had a ball pit. They had an ironic ball pit. I know it's not showing because I'm not showing it on purpose. Because it's a huge fucking page. So yeah, that's what it is. Jesus Christ. But that's not the end of it. Jesus Christ. Do you know what else happened to it? Well, there's more to that. There's a bit more. There's one more bit of the story. So, you know, Free-for-All, Fox, Peace, and other people that were involved in today's story are also connected to all of this event. And we're gonna be watching a video shortly, but first I'm gonna give you a bit of context. Also, I'm not gonna be showing it because it's a huge fucking page. So, this Free-for-All and the AWU, meaning the organization that organizes Free-for-All, had a meeting leak, which was posted later to YouTube and then on Rumble. And this is what was in this particular meeting. So let me read the summary to you. Board meeting held by AWU Association, organization behind Free-for-Alls, on October 29th, 2022. This meeting took place about a week after Peace Wolf abandoned her husband and daughter, entering the extramarital affair with Jason FX and K-Beer. And about a month before news of this incident became public. It is the meeting in which Foxglove is removed from the board of directors, which the board adamantly refused to address at the following staff meeting, the one that leaked in November. This is the reason why they didn't want to talk about it. Peace Wolf is the chairman of the board, her husband Fox was the board treasurer. Jason FX and Cabs, a married couple, are two of the organization's business partners designated as the guests of honor for Free for All 2023. In this meeting, the board conspires to discredit and remove Fox from his rightful position on the board in order to cover up Peace Wolf's affair with the organization's business partners and the criminal activity they committed involving a minor child being belonging to Peace Wolf and Fox. This video contains proof of and confession by multiple board members of criminal activities perpetuated by the current board and their guests of honor. These crimes include illegal drug use, child endangerment, embezzlement and theft of convention property, malfeasance, and board conduct in violation of organizations' bylaws and against US law pertaining to registered corporations. This video does not include the victim's testimony, which alleges crimes greater in number and severity. This video confirms that despite his wife attempting to sabotage him and silence him to cover the crimes, she and her master and mistress committed. Fox did not take any actions that were illegal or even against this AWU association or its members. To the accusation that Fox wrongfully removed Jason FX and Cabs from AWU association, Fox was a moderator and had the authority to temporarily do so pending decision by the board. The justification for this temporary removal was child endangerment by these members. The organization allows members of all ages, including children, making these members a danger to others. To the accusation that Fox stole money from the organization, this is an outright lie. The organization's card was used but the money returned. Peace Wolf sabotaged the joint bank account Foxglove and she shared so that she could not use payment card, leaving him unable to purchase essentials for his family. As a last resort, due to the situation Peace Wolf calls, the AWU card was used to pay for food and female hygiene products for his daughter, whom his wife had abandoned with him and he still needed to care for. It was returned via PayPal in full. No money was ever stolen, it was only transferred around out of necessity due to Peace Wolf's cruelty and only to buy food and tampons. In addition to the vile treachery and willingness to destroy an innocent man and child to save face, AWU Association Board are guilty of crimes both against a child and US corporate law. The former of which is already under criminal investigation, the latter will soon be investigated by the Federal Trade Commission. If it is not already by release of this video, the danger this put the organization is cannot be overstated. Those who committed these acts must be removed from leadership with prejudice immediately. If not, the organization will surely be sued and disbanded by the US government, even if the staff and entities are still willing to overlook this evil. Please help us save AWU Association and Free for all from Jason FX, Peace Wolf, Cabs, and the other board members who conspired with them. Demand their immediate removal. And this was posted just 2 months ago, by the way. So this is very fresh as far as this whole fucking drama is concerned. So, as a final thing, we're gonna be watching the leak from that meeting, because that is also something fucking fantastic. So let's get into that one. This is only the highlights from this leak, because the whole leak is like 1 hour long.
This conflict is going to tear a community.
Hold up. I'm gonna set it to normal speed because it's not that long.
This conflict is going to tear a community apart. I don't want that to happen. I don't want any of this to happen. I don't want to fight. I don't want any of this, but this is the consequences of what's happening, and it's affecting people, and it needs to stop.
I'd like to
I
state
and everybody else have worked way too damn hard to let this organization and this community fall apart. So I'm not going to let it happen. I want to do what is in the best interest of the organization. It's been made very clear that it's going to come down to one or other of us. Again, I don't want that, but it's been made clear to me that that's the case. If that happens, it's going to start a civil war within the organization. That can't be allowed to happen. The only solution, the only way to move forward in the best interest of the organization is until this conflict is resolved, both Nicole and I need to immediately resign as members of the board and staff members for Free For All.
If you don't want to jeopardize your status with this organization, then with all due respect, stop wasting my time with conjecture.
I'm hesitant to talk much because I am so close to the situation and I'm going to be biased. So that's why I've been kind of quiet.
Well, you prepped all three of them ahead of time. I'm just saying that you guys went around and discussed this with everybody except for me ahead of time. And I'm walking into a clearly prepared ambush here.
Yes, we acknowledge that we left you out of the discussion. If it seems underhanded, yes, I apologize, but we have our reasons. First of all, the removal of Jason Grant and Kate Grant from our Discord server without the knowledge and the authorization of the board of directors, and also the use of organizational funds for personal use. I'd like to take this opportunity to yield the floor to Fox to state his rebuttal to these allegations.
The reason that they were removed is because, as you guys know, Kate and Jason have recently been in our house. My wife is involved in an extramarital affair with them. And in such, my daughter had to witness those two people having sex with her mother in the room right across from her that she could hear through the walls the entire thing, as well as doing drugs in her presence.
Isn't that fucking fantastic, Chad?
She felt so unsafe and endangered that she ran away from home that night. Given that these two do clearly present a danger to minors, I removed them as an emergency measure to make sure that they do not attend any other in-person meets. That was never a permanent thing, so that's up for the board to decide. But that's why they were removed immediately.
Okay, Peace. Do you confirm or deny any of Fox's statements that he has just made?
I confirm that, yes, I was doing things in
Confirmation. Straight from her mouth. That she was fucking and her daughter might have fucking heard that.
the bedroom across from my daughter with Kate and Jason. We were being quiet about it. We did attempt to take me into consideration. I know it was distasteful to do so. I don't
TTF. Total furry death.
recall running away in the middle of the night.
Of course you don't, because you were too busy doing drugs and getting fucked to realize our daughter was in danger.
God. Do you guys listen? Are you listening to all of this?
Nice.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous.
There was also a pornographic image left on the whiteboard in the guest bedroom that our daughter had to witness, which...
Did you guys remember the whiteboard images about the cucking? Yeah, she saw that too.
Depicted her mother being defiled by both of them, as well as counting with tally marks the number of times that they fucked her in the room next to her.
Jesus Christ, man.
This was obviously extremely disturbing to her.
So it was not a pornographic image. It was a picture of my character, Kate's character, and Jason's character hugging.
Okay, you can call it that. Technically not pornographic, you're right. There was no nudity depicted. I suppose at this point the only disagreement is on what is this acceptable behavior in front of children. Apparently I'm more protective on that matter, so. So, are you already aware that the funds were returned to the organization?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of why I swiped the company card?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the midst of our separation, a large amount of money was suddenly taken from our joint bank account and my debit card was disabled. This was done without my knowledge. I was at Walmart and I needed to purchase groceries and tampons because I have a teenage daughter. I did not realize that my bank account had been sabotaged by another one of our board members until I got there up at the checkout. I did not have another card present. I was not prepared for this situation. The only other thing I had was the company card. I swiped the card and then returned the funds via PayPal. It was a shock to me because, like I said, I didn't expect someone to disable my debit card suddenly. I don't know what happened, but my wife has not been in contact with me. She did not let me know what she did at the bank or why the money was withdrawn or even that it did happen. So I have no idea. I'm just very much in the dark and trying to make sure that my daughter's taken care of.
And it's not like we don't understand what you're getting at, Fox, but again, doing so could jeopardize the whole organization.
Which is why I have zero tolerance for this.
They have zero tolerance for him taking the money, but all of this shit with the fucking and the minors being involved, that's all fine. They're not stopping the discussion for that, and saying what the fuck are you guys doing? They're more concerned about the fucking money.
I'm just saying this is going to likely continue. Not specifically this, but there will probably be more
fucking Doom guy. More concerned about the money.
Damages due to this feud that I really wish that we weren't having right
now. No, there won't. I won't allow it to happen. You need to understand how serious I'm taking this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love this community. I've put my fucking heart and soul into this community. And
my board members fucking balls in front of her child. I love this community.
I'm not going to let a marital feud destroy it.
Marital feud.
Oh, I know.
You have to understand
it's very, very severe. I get it. I have a partner who is sabotaging me and my bank account and my daughter. I get it. It is a large, huge deal. It's not just a little spat here and there. It is going to affect the organization significantly. If this is such a grave concern that funds have been misplaced, can I ask, is there any concern over where the rest of the funds for the organization and for the convention's property is right now?
We've handled that already.
We have?
Nicole, would you like to weigh in on this?
I have not been informed of anything. As far as I know, the entirety of all funds and all property owned by a Wu have been taken to an undisclosed location and are in the sole property of one person without informing the board.
Actually, Fox, as somebody who helped move all of those items, I know exactly where they are. The board has discussed this.
No, Lakota. The board did not discuss this. You discussed this.
We've all discussed this.
No, I have not. Did you guys have a private meeting without me to discuss it? Is that what you're referring to?
Gotcha, bitch!
We have discussed this, and as a majority...
This is so fucking awful, but I just can't help but laugh. This is so terrible. I just kind of circled back into finding this all funny.
We agreed that was fine.
So you called a meeting without including all the board members?
There was no meeting. It was a discussion.
It was a discussion that was brought up, and we went around.
It sounds to me like you guys have already stripped me of being a board member at this point. Is that the case?
Not officially, no.
I will say that it was wrong for me to not inform you of the decisions that I made. That was something that should have been put in public, in the correct place where all the board members could see what had happened. That is the proper thing to do. I took $170 worth of things for just a moment before returning the funds immediately in excess. As far as I can tell, it does appear that the entirety of all funds and all property were seized without notifying the board. So forgive me if I feel just a little bit accused of something that is very small in comparison. I feel rather ambushed here, like you guys are trying to treat me as if I've done something horrible when, by comparison, that's not anything.
Well, you've put us in a pretty tight spot for one, with specifically with the misuse of funds. But let's circle back around to the issue with Jason and Kate and all the other stuff. Your claim that they were fornicating out in the open in front of a minor. Spent a lot of my teenage years listening to my parents fucking, but they never did it in my bedroom. So, I mean, there's
Did
I
your
mean,
parents bring strangers into the house and fuck them and do drugs with them in
my
front of
dad
them?
was not in front of me, but my dad was an alcoholic. I knew what the fuck was going on, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the
Jesus
matter is,
Christ.
what I've got right now is two conflicting stories, and I don't know who I ought.
What conflicting stories? Fucking Peace Wolf admitted to doing the act in front of her fucking kid's room. She confirmed that. What's the conflict?
At this point, I don't even know who's telling the truth.
If you'd like, I can get a statement from our daughter who witnessed it.
Hey, let's involve our kid a bit more. Hey, kid, did mommy fuck two strangers in front of you the other day? Tell daddy.
That's up to the board as to whether or not we want to hear him out. Their use of psychedelic drugs is very heavily regimented and is strictly for therapeutic use.
Yeah, that's why they took it before fucking.
I don't care what they use it for. That's none of my business. I just care about them doing it around my kid.
At this time, I would like to make a motion for us to take a brief 10-minute recess to give the rest of us an opportunity to deliberate on this matter.
So this is no longer a board meeting. It's a private meeting between you guys?
The board meeting is still in session. It's just in recess. We need time to deliberate.
I'm just clarifying. When you say we, you mean everyone but me, right?
Myself, Chandler, Anthony, and Nicole, yes.
5 minutes later.
All in favor of dismissing Fox Reno from the board of directors?
Seconded.
Third.
Motion carries in favor of dismissal. Fox Reno, you are hereby dismissed from the board of directors.
How is next year going to be different when it's been stated directly to me that anyone who is against Kate and Jason is against the chairman of the board? It seems as if that's not going to change anytime soon. It will always be me or peace.
That problem is neither here nor there. I'm inclined to agree with Nicole's fervence that anybody who stands against Jason and Kate stands against her.
You just removed
these people need fucking a clubbing. All of them need a clubbing. Even Fox needs a fucking clubbing.
The abandoned one as opposed to the offender. You've got guests of honor that have already compromised your chairman of the board. Where are they going to stop?
I don't care.
I don't care. And that's it. Let me return myself. Hold up. And you know what's a better fucking reaction other than VTubers deserve less? I think this is a better one. I think this one summarizes my feelings much better than the furries. Total furry death, I guess. How do you solve a situation that's unsolvable? How terrible is this shit? Fuck me. Yeah, I hope you guys like this stream where it was revealed that, you know, like, what did we learn during this stream? That people involved are pedophiles, there's grooming, there's sexual assault, there's embezzlement of money, there's heavy drug usage, there's stealing. What else is fucking there? And the stream almost fucking died. As I was talking about the fucking ending of this thing. Did the furries get me in the end? Because I don't want this stream to end on fucking furries getting me. Because I decided to cover all of this. Yeah, we have alleged zoophilia. We have everything under the fucking sun, and this is just one furry drama, guys. The chat, like, this is just one. This is just one drama caused by, like, how many? Like, there's like 4 main actors in this, and 4 main people were involved in this, and everyone that attached themselves, other than that one person from the Netherlands, that was actually pretty fucking based furry. Everyone was terrible in this story. And that last video just accentuates all of that. And yeah, Everyone's gonna need a proper brain bleaching after this one. I have vivid images coursing through my mind at this point of furries getting clubbed to death, me throwing grenades at furries, me taking flamethrowers to the furries. I'm guessing I also have violent thoughts, but are they justified this time around? Probably are. Am I going to act on them? No, I'm too far away. I'm too far away. I'm too far away to kill furries. And that makes me upset. This makes me very upset, chat. And I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight. It's so bad. And believe it or not, I've explored a lot of furry dramas. They do worse shit than this, believe it or not. I bet some of you know. I bet some of you fucking know what I'm talking about. There's, you know, there's actual child rape in other furry dramas. There's cannibalism. Yes, there's cannibalism in fucking furry drama. There's murder. There's fucking necrophilia. There's everything. Furry fandom has every fucking drama under the fucking sun. And you know, and people still want to be part of that fandom. I guess I like some furry art. I like kimono art specifically. Kimono art comes from Japan. It's that specific type of furry art that I like. The Japanese draw some really nice furries, but I'm only into the art aspect of this. Going to these conventions, engaging with these particular people, and as you saw today, it doesn't matter which political side they're on. They're always gonna be fucking awful, like most of the fucking time, and you can't do anything about that. I bet you will find a fucking libertarian furry, like, you know, one of those don't tread on me types. I bet even those are fucking insane. So the stream is gonna end on a sour note that furries exist. These types of furries exist, and I guess the minuscule amount of furries isn't bad, because, you know, I guess the ones that keep to themselves and don't engage with anyone else and just enjoy their hobbies in the comfort of their own homes without engaging with most people are the ones that are gonna be safe. Holy fuck. You missed a lot of drama VTuber Kumi last few days. Takahata drama and the Russian VTuber sympathizer Komi. Reason why? I didn't miss anything. I covered all of that stuff. What do you mean? It's all on my Twitter. I covered all of that. Unless you think my account is not my account. I covered all of that extensively. And the commie stuff? The commie stuff, I'm the one that brought up the commie stuff. So yeah, that's all me. And we're gonna have this stream about that commie. Because there's one thing I hate more than furries, and that's communists. We're gonna have a stream about that broad too at one point. I already have enough... I already have enough stuff, you know, to go through that sort of stuff. Yeah, on my Twitter, not here. As a video, a lot of that as a video, like a singular video that I do, like those that are like a few minutes long, those could, yeah, sure, those could work, but I'd rather keep that stuff for like longer streams because I don't want to sit, like during my work days, I don't want to sit like 2 hours at the computer recording something very long. Like right now is the weekend, so I had the time to do the stream. Even though I planned to do something else, I just kind of backed off from other stuff to do this one. Because this one was like, holy fuck, this shit is insane. And I stumbled over more and more insane stuff as I was getting into it. What you saw here right now, this is like just 2 hours of looking into stuff. And I bet I would find a lot more if I wanted to. And it would be just as insane as the thing that I covered here. But yeah. It was all terrible. Like, sure, I laughed a lot about this shit because of how ridiculous it was, but yeah, I'm very morally opposed to how these people behave. And that last thing, that last fucking leaked stream from that meeting of theirs, that was infuriating. Especially how they dismissed the fucking concerns, like clearly borderline or actual criminal activity going on, and they ignored it just to, you know, kick the guy out because he took their fucking money. I'm glad that the shit got leaked. I'm glad that I guess Fox was the one recording that shit. I can only imagine that he was the one that leaked it. Oh, I do wonder where this is gonna go. I'm glad one of these fuckers became VTubers, so it's more justified for me to cover this on a themed channel. How sad is this shit? But yeah, I'm at least glad this Peace Wolf person doesn't have much more of a influence in VTubing. She just kind of streams to nobody with Jason FX and Cabs on Twitch. Like, I think they're like a 2 view or something, maybe even more less than that. Who became a VTuber? The Peace Wolf, that woman that slept around with Cabs and Jason FX. She became a VTuber. I didn't want to cover this with a stream initially, but then I quickly found out she was a VTuber, so it all became more acceptable for me to cover them. And I could kind of you know, think that Jason FX and Cabs are also kind of honorary VTubers because they do use avatars during Peace Wolf streams too. So I'm feeling more justified in calling them VTubers. But I'll give you guys a bit more lore to end the stream. I had personal contact with Jason FX in the past. How many years ago was that? 2016, before most of this stuff got out. Before most of this stuff got revealed to the public, so I had no idea he did any of that stuff. My associates and I talked to the guy, and he seemed pretty chill, but he quickly changes his demeanor when he's challenged on something. Like, he can be the most friendly guy in a very positive situation where he isn't you know, taken to task on anything. Like, he isn't challenged by anything. But other than that, whenever he is indeed challenged, he completely changes into a fucking asshole. Yeah. And yeah, he was everyone. I met with him as a part of my professional work, mostly related to that game he was making. That's how I know him. But knowing that he's involved in this much drama and on that many levels, that I didn't know. So now I know, and I'm smarter for it. I'm glad I know now. I'm not that kind of person that thinks ignorance is bliss. because if I know something, I will know how to compartmentalize it in my mind and to deal with it later on. And it also helps me to avoid certain people once I know what they've done. I'd rather not, you know, go into the unknown and deal with people like this in the future. So doing a bit of background work and learning stuff about these people is important for me. So I've learned an important lesson, at least in that sense. But yeah, once again, this was fucking awful. Sure, once again, it was funny, but the awfulness that doesn't make up for that. Not in the slightest, at least not for me. So the next stream, I don't know when it's gonna be. I've been very busy. I'm probably not going to EX. It costs too much, and I don't want to beg for money. Even though I planned the donathon, I backed out of that one because why just gather money for one guy to spend 4 days doing his own business at AX? Otacon, that's something I'm gonna fund out of my own pocket. Otacon won't have any VTuber stuff probably. Probably will have some merch, but I do not see VTuber presence much there. Probably some cosplay. I might cover that. I do like VTuber cosplay. Last year there was some Niji-Sanji stuff and some Hololive stuff, which was nice. A lot of nice friendly people there. V-Shoujo had no cosplay presence. Not surprised. Not surprised about that at all. But it was nice. So this year's Otakon is probably gonna be nice too. So I'll see what can be done about that one. But yeah, I hope you guys won't kill yourself after this stream, because I can imagine it creates these kinds of feelings in some people. You just kind of lose the will to live after experiencing this much awfulness and actual genuine cringe. But yeah, any of the nations for the last thing I'm thankful for. They will be used for improving the channel with fan art. Aside from the fake Cooksy thing, yeah, it seems like Offkai was a good this year. Offkai is still going on. I think it has like 2 more days or 1 more day, something like that. So there's still time for awful things to happen at that convention. I hope it doesn't, because, you know, I'm not sitting here expecting the world to fucking end and me gleefully cover that stuff. The guy, the Cooksy impersonator, that was something else. I've never seen anyone so fucking clout starved that they would impersonate a fucking VTuber clipper of all things. Like, impersonating a VTuber would be pretty hard, I guess, but I guess the guy thought that impersonating a VTuber clipper is gonna be easier because I think no one actually saw Cooksy before. I don't know. I didn't follow VTuber clippers as internet personalities, so I wouldn't fucking know. Clippers... Cooksy doesn't clip anything interesting to me, so I don't give a fuck what he does. Yeah, I saw the Face Connect 3D appearances. They were fun, even though a lot of them were really scuffed, but still, the girls had a lot of fun. The fans had a lot of fun. Pippa couldn't stand for 2 minutes without getting tired. Same old. Hope she gets some stamina. But yeah, next stream, don't know when that's gonna happen. But I'm sure it's gonna be about that Komi. So I can get rightfully angry about her, because she's an actual terrible fucking person. She's the very definition of a fucking girl boss done wrong. Like, all the worst qualities of a girl boss rolled into one person. But yeah, you guys have still time to enjoy Offkai in some capacity online. I'm gonna enjoy my break then go enjoy some of my other hobbies and prepare for the next stream. Don't know once again when that's gonna be. But yeah, you guys take care. Stay hydrated. Don't be a furry. Don't engage with furries unless you know good furries. I know good furries, so value the good furries because they I guess are a minority. Value those good furries and don't have them stray on the wrong path like these motherfuckers in today's stream. I will be playing you off with some kind of song. I don't know what yet, but you'll hear it in a moment anyway. But yeah, you guys take care and bye bye.